sure that I'll find a way through a cloud of haze. Every day I wept, found how to live through all them cloudy days. You know the mind's a maze with all its mixtures. It's always hard to get the entire scope of the picture. 1080p, that's you other busters, yeah, obsolete. Can't fuck with me, excuse my French, but I'm not discreet. I wear my heart on my sleeve, but I've learned my lesson. I learned 1996 birth, one of the greatest weapons untold. I'm destined to reach heights thought I could never see, but foolish thoughts rampage my heart and let me not reach the peaks that's entrusted to me. My belief shatter of past actions I grieve, but grievance never really mattered. It's how I choose to act differently in the coming battles to overcome my limitations and get out my shadow. But it's hard to wade in this water, but it was never shallow. Fuck it, let me get the paddles. Fuck that now, let me get this castle. Fuck that now, let me get this battle.
What it do, everybody? It's Sage back up in this thing again. Squad Nero, we back up in this thing again. What episode is this?
I see.
I see.
I see. Yeah, fruit punch.
58, episode 58. We are back up in this thing. We appreciate y'all yet again. Please like and subscribe. Turn on that noti bell if you are coming at us from YouTube. If you're coming at us from Twitch, subscribe. Let us know that you're in the building. Comment. Do whatever you need to do. I got my brothers in here with me again. We also have some very compelling topics this week, as we have now. We've been moving in a consistent wave of great content, great media all around the board. So I think after this, or we can start the Thunderbolts. If you want to be able to pull that up, please.
Yeah, I can pull that up.
That was so aggressive.
There's something wrong.
The Avengers are not coming. Who will keep people safe?
Yes! Yeah! I'm gonna say this now. This movie is gonna be fire. Only for the simple fact, key components from my favorite movies, Hereditary. They got people from Hereditary working on this. They got people from Minority working on this. They got people from everything, everywhere, all at the same time. Midsummer. Nah, son. Nah, this is gonna be the greatest Marvel movie of the whole year. I don't care. Y'all can fight me on it, and I'm sticking with this. A24 always has some production composures. Everyone with heat. For Disney to bring them over for this? It's gonna have some dark tones to it. It's gonna have some dark tones to it, y'all. I kid y'all not. Y'all thought Daredevil was up? I didn't know these people was working on it. From all, like, 3 of my favorite movies I've seen in the last 5-6 years. Nah, son. Especially Hereditary. Oh, my goodness. Midsummer? So much deep meaning. Everything, everywhere, all at the same time. Cinematically, one of the best shot films in history. Thunderbolts is heat. I'm going to see it about 5-6 times. I don't even care.
He slid in like he just did a line.
Yeah.
Yo, listen, I had to turn him down, right? And then when I turned him down, it was still loud. I'm like, oh, Mike, cause woo!
Yo.
I'm sitting there like I apologize at first because I was on I guess one of my brothers had to vent for a second, but as I'm listening to him vent, it's going in one ear and out the other because I'm looking at the names. I'm like Midsummer, Everything Everywhere all at the same time.
When you was on the phone
Minari?
when you was on the sound like
you
cut
right.
out.
You literally was cutting in and out, bro. What was you saying? You said when you noticed when I was on the phone, what?
Yeah, when you was on the phone, everything that you was responding with, I was just like, all right.
We ain't hear none of that.
Dang, it's my turn to sleep.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Bills and Josh Allen agreed a record-setting 6-year, $330 million contract that includes $250 million guaranteed.
Who y'all about to sign?
Good Lord, nobody at this point. Nobody at this point. What?
Josh said we ain't signing shit. We'll be fine. Pass me the bag. But no, I was gonna say the trailer was all right. I mean, I guess this is definitely a different tone from Marvel.
There you go.
Bringing people over from A24, like Hereditary, Midsummer. It's definitely gonna have some darker undertones.
Mm-hmm.
So,
all right, do I sound better too?
Yeah, you sound better now.
Okay.
But it's like the trailer still. We really haven't seen much from this movie though.
That's what makes it so great.
Scenes. So I'm like,
they're keeping a lot hidden.
That's gonna be cool that they
let it be a surprise.
The leak's not getting out either. Yeah, because I mean, even Captain America, we saw
the biggest thing.
Yeah, saw the biggest shit. Like,
yes, pause.
Yeah.
But it's like this movie, we see in the same people in the same room doing the same shit, driving cars and just screaming. So I'm like, yo, hopefully something happens because I mean, we only seen like 30 seconds it seemed like, but I thought the trailer was pretty decent.
I like the indie type of feel that they did with this trailer. It seems like it's minor shit when you looking at it, but when you're really paying attention to that factor, you see that the joy, I guess, or the happiness for a lot of the people that were working at these studios or working at Marvel Studios is starting to come back again. You're starting to see that they're not afraid of taking artistic risk in order to create an overall better project. And slowly but surely, we've been starting to see that content coming from Marvel's standpoint is starting to up their game and continue that. We started to see a little bit in Captain America, and then you see the trailers for Thunderbolts and Winter Soldier, you're like, oh my goodness. And then you see the animated Spider-Man series, and then you're like, oh my goodness. And then you see the Daredevil, the first 2 episodes, and then you're like, yo, Marvel, are y'all doing what I think you about to do? So I'm thoroughly convinced that I think this might be a good movie. It might be even a tease point. It might be the best Marvel movie out of this year. I don't know. It's hard pressed to go against Fantastic Four, since it's been so long since we've gotten the Fantastic Four, and just off that simple credence, Fantastic Four put butts in seats. But Thunderbolts might have a bigger impact on the greater MCU. Who knows? So
yeah, facts. Because I will say one thing she said, she's like, the Avengers aren't coming back. That means this nigga essentially gonna have to be like all the Avengers combined in terms of strength and power. But at the same time, it's like if they have to stop the Sentry/Void, I just hope it's not no power of friendship bullshit.
It most definitely will. It's no other way.
There's no other way to fight Sentry.
It's no other way.
Hey, nigga, that can fly through the earth. I'm your friend. Calm down.
Listen, buddy.
Yeah.
You made the entirety of Manhattan black.
It's gonna be
scared.
Yelena. Watch, it's gonna be that Yelena.
Yeah.
Joint. The new Black
Widow.
Widow.
Be like, ooh, Russian?
Yeah.
She gonna be his girlfriend. Watch.
Yeah.
She gonna be Sentry's girlfriend. Yelena gonna be Sentry's girlfriend.
What if him and Scarlet Witch was together?
No, that's chaotic. That's a toxic relationship, literally.
They would never allow that to happen.
Yeah, never mind. You right.
Whole universe gone the minute they have a fight. I agree with every single point y'all made, though. To T's point, I'm a big horror fan, so all of the references that they did make and that he mentioned, I do also agree. They are very good at production. A24 is consistent. A24 is kind of like the movie version of FX. FX is always good for a series. They always do a series, whether it's Fargo, Snowfall, whatever it be. They've always been known to kind of get the right people. They do something different, and that's how A24 is. Even if every necessarily hit, it's usually some type of cult following behind something that came from them. This goes back to a point that I made to you guys. I said I would like to see some of the people from HBO. That was what I initially kind of talked to you guys about off screen and off pod. And this is the same thing. It's not necessarily what the direction that I thought they were going to, but the fact that they did pick A24, they're picking people from A24, I should say. That is what they need to do. They need to get concrete writing, not just writers, but they need to get concrete writing teams that are going to be able to give multiple inputs, and that's all, not only multiple inputs but multiple critiques before these films get to testing and before these films get to us. So seeing that that is the case here with Thunderbolts, a movie that people weren't, most people don't really know a lot about these characters. Most of these characters have been background characters and others material from Marvel. And we know who the Sentry is, right? But most other people don't know who the Sentry is, the people who are typical MCU fans. So you would think that this movie would be one where it's more or less considered a lesser film, almost like you think of Eternals, something that's just kind of there that you hope and can provide enough firepower to push people along to a bigger featured film. So to see that they're doing this with a film that's kind of like an in-between film, it shows, that if that's what they're doing on that level, what will they do on the next level? So I have, from the moment that we got the first trailer, Thunderbolts, I've been excited, and they're doing nothing but adding more reason for me to be excited.
They're coming in right when you need them to come in properly to let us know, or at least give us a little bit more confidence that the MCU is back in good hands again. So this is what they needed to do. If they didn't, then I'm pretty sure we all agree that they would have lost their main core base, at least, or at least it would have fractured a lot to the point where maybe the MCU greater wouldn't be able to prosper going further. Who knows? But happy they finally got their shit together.
Can I ask one quick question before you transition?
Yeah, go
ahead. Okay. I think we brought this up here, but if I didn't bring this up with y'all, I brought this up with somebody else. Deadpool, Captain America, if Thunderbolts is good, which it looks like it will be, Fantastic Four should be good, right? Mm-hmm. If all four of those movies, the worst movie is, or the movie that performed the worst was Captain America 4. Do you think that it's fair for fans to still be upset at that point? I mean, that's 4 in a row, and the worst one was Captain America, which Captain America to me wasn't the worst we've seen from them. Or not Daredevil, Deadpool was the last one before. Yeah.
Oh shit.
I know it's been a minute since we got one in between Deadpool and Captain America.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think fans, to your point, I don't think fans should be mad at that, because everybody fucked with Deadpool Wolverine. Mm-hmm. Even though it wasn't like an MCU movie, it's still part of it. Captain America being bad, it was, it was whatever. But with Fantastic Four, and what's after Fantastic Four?
Or Thunderbolts, then Fantastic Four.
Thunderbolts, then Fantastic Four.
Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
We should be in good hands. I don't think there's nothing to be mad about.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
Especially with Daredevil too. So it's like we got TV and the movies making a deep comeback. And it's like with them bringing on A24 people, I feel like going forward, each film might have a different type of vibe to it. Like with the Daredevil or street level type of characters, you can have that, like Rob said, that indie type of vibe. And then when you get to more fantastical films going into the cosmic parts, that's when you can do your James Gunny type MCU trope or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really curious about this aspect that they're going for, kind of like this not horror, but horror aspects that they're trying to bring as well. And obviously, with the Void, it can have some horror aspects tied in with that character. So I'm interested to see how that relates to the movie scene and how they bring it to the big screen.
Yo, I
Very
got one
curious.
question too, real quick. My bad.
Are you good?
Do y'all think that the MCU treats their cosmic shit a little too goofy? I don't know the right if goofy's the right word,
It,
but like when we
I,
see their cosmic battles, it's like a little. It's so cheesy to the point where you're like, all these alien villains are kind of like the same essentially, and it's like for movies to be reaching different galaxies and star systems or whatever, you would think MCU would reach one, or they would treat the Kree Empire like how Dune treats House Atreides or some shit like that. You know?
I think they tried to have a little bit of liberties, so it wasn't a
Yeah.
complete one to one for comic book creators. Probably because of the business side of things and how much money they would probably have to owe those comic book creators. So they tried to do their own type of different things, which I think with Secret Wars,
hold
if
up.
they're
Side
smart,
note. Side note. Bills paid Josh Allen, but don't want to make moves at receiver. DK Metcalf just got traded to the daggone Steelers. Come on, son.
to the Steelers.
Wow.
Come on, son.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, the Steelers. Oh,
We ain't worried about that bitch ass nigga.
that's disgusting.
Yeah,
Hey,
I
that
know
gotta
y'all
be
ain't worried about it, but I'm just saying, like
nah.
the
The
Bill.
Ravens should be. The
At
Ravens
what
most
quarterback
definitely
do
should.
the Pittsburgh Steelers have? What QB do they have? They have nobody yet.
They don't got
Russell
They got
Justin
Wilson
Justin
Fields.
and
Fields.
Justin Fields is a free agent.
Damn,
Both of them were on 1 year deals.
Oh yeah,
Him
that's
and
right.
Russ.
that,
Okay,
that's
I'm sorry. You
just
can get back to it. That kind of like pissed me off. I had to voice it.
nah. You good? Damn, I forgot. Damn, I forgot what I was talking about.
You saying they had different liberties and all that? They didn't keep it one
Oh
dimensional
yeah,
or
yeah,
something.
yeah. They didn't want to. They didn't want to do it one to one, probably because of the business side of things, and crediting all of these comic book creators is something it seems like Marvel has an issue with doing. But I think that after Kevin Feige has seen, like, bruh, we're doing all of these things. It was a lot much easier in the first couple of phases when we created this, when we used a lot of comic book content to base our storylines on, and then we only tweaked few things. I think we got lost in trying to tweak so much shit that we lost the premise of the main shit. So if they're smart, if Kevin Feige is truly smart, I think he's using this Secret Wars when they snap everything back to fix a whole lot of the shit that should have been there, such as not killing off villains so willingly so that they come back, such as using more one-to-one comic book material, but just tweaking some little shit here and there where we're not too crazy. Fixing fucking Miss Marvel and her fucking powers. Like
Yeah,
it's
for
certain
sure.
shit that they could do where they've seen people's reactions to it. People don't like Miss Marvel with these colorful powers, and it's probably cost us an arm and a leg to fucking animate this shit or CGI this shit on the screen in comparison to just getting stretchy fucking powers to it.
No,
No,
apparently the
nobody likes
stretchy is
her.
Oh,
hard.
that's what
No,
I was hearing too. I heard the
Stretchy
stretchy
nobody
powers
likes
actually
them
cause
big meaty claws on that goofy bitch.
That's
Excuse me, that's a little kid.
I
crazy.
On
mean,
that girl.
it's a cool concept. Don't get me wrong, but at the same time, Disney, you got way too much money to be making excuses for shit that you really want to stick with fans. If you really want it to stick with fans, then you're going to have to come out of your pockets and actually produce the shit one to one instead of trying to make these fucking side stories that nobody really truly gives a fuck about. I'm sorry, not sorry. I mean, Miss Marvel was a cool show, but it wasn't as big as like a Loki or even probably an animated Spider-Man. Now that I'm talking about it.
Yeah, I think I was saying like for like cosmically when we see Thor: Love and Thunder, when you see
Oh
like the
yeah,
Marvels, or you see Lee Pace when he was Ronan the Accuser, it's like every single one of these cosmic entities is just like they all come from like the same exact place, like the comedy or I don't know. It's like, bro, like Marvel, there
Yeah.
doesn't seem to be like a good dynamic. I would say High Evolutionary is one that differentiated himself. But other than that, it's like every time you see Marvel go into space, you like this damn near gonna be like a Guardians of the Galaxy movie. Like
Yeah.
every villain's gonna be on that type of timing. So I'm thinking, like, why don't they ever differentiate different like the Kree from the Skrulls? And it's like in the movies and TV show, you don't want all these aliens behaving the exact same. That's just my
Right.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. Here's my theory. I believe that Galactus is gonna be the reset. I think they're gonna have a major reset with Galactus, and I think that would be appropriate because originally, from the MCU side, we really could say the three more unique. To your point, the three more, or the two right now, the two more unique, cosmic and like cosmic or just galaxy wide characters that we've seen has probably been that High Evolutionary in that Guardians movie, and as well as that Thanos. That's probably like the only two that we've seen, and I think it would be appropriate for the next one that has that more unique role. I mean, you could say technically, I guess, the Celestials and Eternals, but that was weird. That was just weird. So if Galactus were to come and we were to get a larger push to a more serious, a more cosmic and galactic traits that are more traditional to what we see in the comic books, that should be enough at that. And if it's successful, because Thanos was successful, High Evolutionary was successful, that they are Galactus being enough, that should break any analytics that you could possibly have if you're Marvel on does having unique and more serious cosmic and galactic characters work. You shouldn't really have a reason to think that it wouldn't at that point. So I think I think that if we do get a more serious Galactus, there's no reason why Galactus should be humorous in any way, shape, or form. I don't feel like they would do that. That to me would put a huge dent in the Fantastic Four movie if they had anything kind of against the grain of the comic book version. So if Galactus is a success, which I think Galactus will be a success, from that point on, let's say we were to get a character like Gladiator, right? And we were to go into, what is that? Is that the Shi'ar Empire? Yeah, we were to go into the Shi'ar Empire. I think if we were to get a Gladiator and go to the Shi'ar Empire for a movie or a series, you would at that point get a more serious tone from them. And as on the flip side of that, hopefully that we could get kind of like a reboot from everything that's come from Asgard. And what I mean by that is, and this is a very good point to the point that you originally made, D, Olympus or Olympia, whatever the Greek gods and the Marvel are from, there's no reason why the Asgardians and the Olympians are both as silly as they are. So I'm hoping we could get a reset with at least the Olympian side, if they would like to champion the Asgardians as being like more of like a friendly family, kind of like they feel like family and they're more friendly and humor. We've gotten that for so much Asgardian like material in the MCU at this point that I wouldn't even be mad if they did keep it that way. But the Olympians, who could possibly pose a threat, it could be a future threat for the Asgardians, a storyline that they could honestly flesh out more, make them serious, make them where we kind of get, okay, Hercules is a serious version of Thor. Odin was serious, but Zeus could be a more serious, a more strict version. They actually just did a comic book run recently in Thor where he had to fight Zeus, and Zeus was ruthless. I mean, he was just from start to finish was just throughout the entire comic. I want to see that in the MCU, from those higher pantheons, those Asgard, those like mythological pantheons and such. I want to see those characters in a more serious tone and role. And I really do think Olympia or Olympus, whatever they're called, would be a good start to that.
I think X-Men too, it really gives them the opportunity to really expound upon that cosmic level threat, because now you have a lot more characters that you have that it actually makes sense that they're on the screen facing this nigga. It's not like Ant-Man versus Thanos. It's fucking Storm and Omega level mutant going against the Eternals or the Celestials and all of this jazz, and they're the only beings, if I'm not mistaken, just outrightly can go toe to toe with these individuals. There's some Avengers members that can as well, but X-Men generally have that power capacity to be able to face
Yeah.
higher end foes and make it make sense while doing it. So
Up
I
until
think
recently, Franklin Richards was a mutant.
yeah,
Up until
which is
recently.
which is odd. I'm curious how they're
And I was
gonna.
I was about to say, yo, what's the name? We haven't seen. They mentioned he was going to be in the maybe as a baby or something, or maybe as a toddler. I don't know,
Oh, they showed
but
him. That was in one of the trailers, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't it?
they did.
No, not the trailer. It was the leaked cover art for the movies. They showed
Oh,
Franklin
okay.
in
Because
like the
Okay.
people were saying like Galactus might be Franklin Richards Galactus from the future looking for himself or something. But
mm,
because remember, Franklin does create a pocket dimension for his family to hide in.
yeah.
Either he create a pocket dimension, or he can send them to a dimension. I don't know, but I'm like, that's too many people that got dimension hopping powers when you think of why they introduced
Yeah.
America Chavez.
Right.
So it's like I don't know if they want to introduce, like you saying, Niall, Galactus could be the cause for this, like have a serious cosmic threat instead of having like, I mean, we are like your point to the Olympians. We already got the pantheon of gods in Love and Thunder sitting there as jokes. Like we got fucking Hershey Kiss gods. We got all this stupid, probably the dumbest thing they could have done to MCU. And it's like at that point, the whole cosmic landscape is just a joke. So I feel like with this Fantastic Four thing and with Silver Surfer and Galactus, hopefully we see him devour a planet or being ruthless. Like that could be like, okay, Marvel's serious about this cosmic entity. This is
Threats.
a real threat. Like, yeah, Galactus is like a serious threat to the world or the universe or whatever. So
Yeah. And real quick, Rob, to your point with the X-Men, I really do think the X-Men, and as well as that the Fantastic Four, both of those are huge galactical kind of coverages. They both the Fantastic Four are explorers. The X-Men have a base on the moon. I really do believe that may be what they do, is that they have them on the moon.
Mhm.
In this lot, when they, when we finally have everything done from Secret Wars, I think they may be on the moon, and then it's something where like they come from the moon to Earth, and it's kind of like, why are these invaders here? I'm thinking they may end up doing something like that. But even if they don't go that way, you could set up a huge, because again, remember Xavier at one point was with Zonda or Zondu, whatever her name is, from the Shi'ar Empire. They're both of those between the Fantastic Four and X-Men. There's so just the focus of exploration with the Fantastic Four and just the vastness of the X-Men, that if they really try to expand on these different things, we could meet more, even if we haven't been pleased thus far with the galactic and cosmic characters and their personal characters that we've gotten so far. They could introduce a lot more new ones. Like both of those franchises could give us so many different new characters and possibilities for different attitudes and such.
Mhm.
We'll see. I feel good though. I feel good. I feel good right now. We're
If
at with the
we're
MCU.
if we're looking at this from, I guess, like a basic lens, and I know we usually go on tangents about the MCU, it's because we genuinely we've been waiting for a series of movies of different superheroes to be in the same universe, and we see them on the
we
screen. We've
lost.
been waiting for. Here, he's back. We've been waiting on that. So sometimes we get a little excited. What I'm curious about is, if this is their first of Avengers movies, we usually have the 3 Avengers movies, and then we have the big one. Obviously, this is the big one, I guess you say. The next Avengers movie, we probably speculate to be Avengers versus X-Men. And then if they have the Avengers versus X-Men versus Eternals for the last one, for this cycle, I guess, 3 Avengers movie cycle. I'm not gonna lie, that might be better than the first 4 Avengers movies that came out before. I'm not gonna lie.
What they do? Hold on, it's supposed to be a third Avengers movie.
They usually do 2.
I'm assuming they only did 2 for the Infinity War and Endgame because of how big that is. If I'm looking at them from their same, I guess, method that they went about, they did the first 2 Avengers movies, Avengers and then Ultron, Age of Ultron, and then you got Infinity War, Endgame. If they do the Doomsday and then Secret Wars, I'm guessing Avengers versus X-Men would have to be the next one. I'm guessing.
But that wouldn't that be in the next phase?
I would kind of loop all of these phases in. I'm kind of still working at how they did the first couple of phases,
Okay.
where this was the
That was the
beginning and
Infinity
ending.
Saga, right?
Yeah.
All of those phases before
Yeah,
were
Infinity
considered
Saga.
the Infinity Saga. So, this is the multiversal saga, right?
Multiversal, and then we're going to the X-Men.
X-Men is next. So, I just think I think they ended it though with Secret Wars is going to conclude
The Multiversal Saga.
saga.
Okay.
So technically, it would be a new like those phases that come after that would be the X-Men saga, because we know that that's what it's going to be going. It's going to be purely focused in that, and I think that make a lot of sense to see Avengers versus X-Men in the X-Men saga, and then
curious.
possibly have an AXC. That would be great, but I just don't know if they're gonna bring. I don't know whether they're gonna bring everybody back from the Eternals. As much as I would love to see that, and I do think that storyline there is an ability for that storyline to be set up in the X-Men saga. It's 100% all there. Or if it's not there, it should be there by the time we get to the X-Men saga. I just don't know. Like, are you getting the guy who played like all of the Eternals that live? Are you getting them back?
Yeah, you got to.
Yeah.
That it's like what a 10-year gap.
It's the
But
money.
they got all their bodies though. Remember, they were like, you all have been created multiple times or some shit.
Yeah.
It's the money.
Even Icarus might come back.
I'm just saying the time, because it's gonna be about 10 years between the last time they did it and this time.
They could de-age him.
That's true as well.
I just hope
what
all
if-
of the
or
actors.
what if they do?
Paperboy.
What if they do the 2 movie Avengers special? You do the first one, Avengers versus X-Men. The second one, AXE.
Yeah, that's what I think. I could see being the 2 Avengers movies under what you discussing, because I mean, obviously, it's so far to say what direction they exactly gonna go into. But again, the idea of them doing AXE is there now, so I can roll with you on that and have that be the second Avengers movie, like the first Avengers builds up to an AXE storyline. I guess my only thing is that, like, would you, like, at that point, actors be finicky when it comes to the Marvel, like doing Marvel movie. You know what I'm saying? Like, they be real nitpicky.
You don't necessarily have to
probably
use those
tired of
same
the-
Eternals though. You could use there's a multitude of variations.
Just
of
recast.
Eternals.
It would have been 10 years. They could just recast.
They could just recast them. They could
At the
have.
same time, people are probably gonna get tired of that though. The hero versus hero trope.
I understand, but people gonna have to realize that produces some of the best superhero content that we've gotten, and throughout
But I mean,
all
they
of
could-
comics.
But also, mutant versus human is a great storyline.
It's a little different too. Yeah, instead
I
of hero
guess you're right
versus
on that
hero,
one.
it does add a little.
That would definitely would put a the emphasis on we got to watch out for these mutants because it's like we got, let's say like the Avengers come in and save the day type shit, then you got like Sentry, Spider-Man, whoever the hell, then you got mutants, niggas do all types of shit. They like, yo, this different. We need more vigilantes to take care of these mutants type shit. So that would, I see your stance on that. I ain't really think about it that way. I guess since we got like the Avengers movie, you know, is heroes fighting in that, then heroes fighting in Age of Ultron, then heroes fighting in the other ones. I guess, you know, getting like scenes of it
It's a good
But
point.
thinking of how it drives the story for the mutants, for the mutant saga, especially if they win. Yeah, they definitely proposing a threat to the world where mutants are gonna have to be spied on type shit
Right.
or
I'm
registered or
curious.
something.
I'm curious what way they're gonna go. Are they doing the Genosha route or are they doing the Krakoa route?
They probably
That's
want
They
to do
gonna have the niggas
Genosha because they
register, bro.
never because wasn't they supposed to call the area where the Celestial was Genosha, or are they just going to call it Genosha at a
they
different point?
never specified it yet. I don't
Yeah, that's what I'm
believe.
saying. They just like said Japan claimed it.
Nah, they said all the countries claimed it. They each country has a different claim of a different part of that. So I'm curious.
Yeah,
Super
I
Yeah,
curious.
think
we,
they might go a political route with those mutants too. With
That's
everything
what I
yes.
going
was
on,
thinking.
mutants
If they would have did
gonna have
the
to
Secret
register,
Wars,
bro.
yeah, if they would have did the Secret Wars a little bit earlier and Mutants was coming out now, this would be the perfect time to do social commentary on this in comparison to
I
real
mean,
life.
still though, we got 4 years of this shit coming up. So they like, yo, let's say 20. What year is it? 2025, 2028. They're gonna be like, yo, mutants. If you're not registered to a country, you going to the moon. You going somewhere or
Mhm.
some shit
Yeah.
like that. Then that's when you get like a mutant island.
You're
But
We,
at the
taking the
same
we,
blood
time,
of
should,
the
we
country.
should get something related to William Stryker. At
Mhm.
least after
Oh.
like right at the Civil War conclusion, we should get something.
Mhm.
Like when everything is reset with this whole universe thing, it could be a opening scene with something happening with William Stryker. But I think that needs to come very quickly. Like that almost needs to come before, and that's where I like kind of back up a little bit, Sage, with the point that you're making. It's like there's some things that kind of do need to be set up between the multiverse saga and the X-Men saga.
Mhm.
But if Secret Wars ends it, my question is Secret Wars can't end it. They had that like a TV show or something. I don't understand how Secret Wars would be able to end it and then we immediately go into this.
X-Men.
Yeah.
That's why I think it's kind
it's
of
got to be
blended.
a reset.
That's why I think it's kind of blended. You got the multiverse, and then you got the X-Men. That's what's bred from the multiverse, and then you have more Marvel-centric or one-to-one comic-centric adaptations of some of these characters now, and then that's what builds up to the Celestials. Because even before the multiverse even started, we got teased about the Celestials potentially coming.
Yeah.
We all might view the multiverse as the biggest. Technically, it is the biggest event, multiversal incursions. One of them known to Marvel history. But some could possibly argue the event with the Celestials is probably that much more, because it's like you feel like you have a way out by destroying the other Earth and being the last one standing type of thing. With the Celestials, it's like these dudes have a different level type of power. They're not even to the same equivalent as the gods that we know of. The gods that we know of don't even pale in comparison to actual Celestial.
I'm not gonna lie though. I think we might get like those entities that kind of existed for a very long time, but not as long as the Celestials. Because we know at the end of this year we gonna meet Mephisto, and we know we gonna have to do another Doctor Strange movie, and we know that Dormammu is supposed to be a part of either that or something in the near future.
I don't even think. I think Doctor Strange will be in Doomsday with Doom, just like in the comics.
How? But my thing is, how are you gonna transition? Like, what happened when he was in this world with Clea?
I think that's what they'll expound upon within the beginning phases of
Yeah.
Doomsday, because in the comics, Doctor Strange, I believe, was trying to find a way to stop the incursions, and he ended up
Mhm.
bumping into Doom at some point in time. Or Doom was
Yes,
actually the leader of one of the groups. I guess I can't remember what they were called.
it was
Black,
the priest, Black Priest,
yeah, the Black Priest,
one of them.
and he ended up finding that, and then they ended up going throughout the multiverses, gathering up all the what's the nigga name? Atomic. I can't remember the nigga name.
Adam Warlock.
No, The nigga that he had to get in order to blow him up to order to be
Molecule Man,
Molecule
Henri's.
Man. He went with
What?
Doom to pick up
What?
all these
What do you
Molecule
mean by
Men.
that?
Okay.
Blow him up. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, they had to blow. Like, no, he had to
All right.
literally become a bomb.
All right,
I'm
bro.
just making sure.
All right, bro.
Yo, you think with the leader, with this genius of a leader we have in MCU, and him mentioning the Illuminati, would this Reed Richards be working with our Stephen Strange in order to defeat Doom? Like, be like, yo, Steve or Doctor or all these fucking doctors. Doctor Strange would be like, yo, Reed, the only way for this to go through our plan to work is if I work with Doom as like some double agent type shit.
I don't think none of the main Avengers right now, main Earth, will even see Doctor Doom until the shit that transpires in Battle World is made. I don't even think they'll sniff him out because this man's Doctor Strange. He's already gonna know it's not gonna be no conventional means in order to stop these incursions because he's seen
Right.
one in the flesh type of thing. He's seen what happens to the world once that happens. So he's gonna try to find other means, and he's gonna find Doctor Doom, arguably a sorcerer on the same level, if not stronger than him, and put his faith into him type of thing. At least that's what I think.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And now you got Benedict Cumberbatch and RDJ again on the screen together, which they had some of the most powerful moments in the first Avengers, Infinity War, and Endgame sagas, and to put them back into it, but now flip everything on his head. Now you got Doctor Doom as the evil guy. You got Doctor Strange working with the evil guy for the greater good per se of the multiverse. It's
Hmm.
it's a beautiful flip and twist that they doing. Where now we can compare how they interacted before, how they interact, how Iron Man interacted with Spider-Man, how Doctor Doom is going to interact with him now. All of these beautiful things just getting interwoven and bringing lore back from the older movies to the new shit. So very nice indeed. It's a 5-year deal. Lord have mercy.
What for
Wow.
RDJ?
DK
No, he
Metcalf.
talking about DK. Mm-hmm.
Yep,
100.
5 year for 150 mil. So he's getting his 30. He's getting 30 mil a year. That's what the market looking like for wide receivers going forward now.
Buffalo
Speaking of
Wild
that, though, what is the deal for RDJ?
RDJ, I believe he has the two Avengers films, and I think he has certain cameo roles as well in other films. If I'm not mistaken, one of the videos that they were like they wouldn't pay him this much money just singularly for 2 films. I think they pay them for a certain amount of time. So we need you to pull up in this cameo part for this film. We need you to say something or show up in this film real quick because all this money that we spending. So obviously we know that he's going to be a part of Fantastic Four in some capacity, whether it be a after credit scene or actually be shown in the universe, coming over to this new universe with the Fantastic Four. And then that's where we start off from there, or something like that. He might be obviously a factor in the Spider-Man film as well. He might play a factor if the World War Hulk movie is something that they plan on doing, but in the middle of the Battle World and Secret Wars. He might be a factor into that too.
I hope he enjoyed the role.
I think he will. I think that's the reason why he came back. If it was
They might
for
be
him,
able to sneak another deal out of him.
if it was for him to come back as Tony Stark, I don't think it would have behooved him enough. Like when you looking at it, like yeah, when you looking at it from an artist standpoint, I'm looking at it from an artist standpoint as I create music. You're not gonna want to come back to do the same thing. You already came back. You already showed the world that you were good in this facet of your craft. You coming back to do the role is more nostalgic than anything, but it's still not testing you and your capabilities and what you can bring to the table. Now he's able to tap into a whole nother facet of his game and prove to everybody that he's capable of playing these roles as well. Type of thing.
And I don't think
You-
this. I wouldn't say it was. My bad. Like my opinion on the Doom casting wasn't Robert Downey Jr. couldn't do the role. It was more so. It was like it seemed like a cop out, as in it was like what is it going to do to Tony Stark or Doctor Doom? Is it going to be some type of variant? It's not going to be like its own thing. So bringing them in and bringing him in for Doom, it was like, yo, are they going to be like, oh, he was Doom all along, and Tony was just because something happened in this multiverse? And it'd be
Mhm.
like, damn, that kind of sucks. Or is it going to be like Doom is only this way because he turned out to be an evil Tony Stark? And it's like, damn, well, that sucks. Like they could have just been their own separate thing. But I get what you're saying, Rob. It's kind of like how Beyonce just won a Grammy for country music and shit. Like
Yeah.
she's able to branch out and do more. So people who aren't familiar with Robert Downey Jr. and only seen him in Iron Man,
Mhm.
yeah, they probably don't know that he's got more acting chops than just being Tony Stark and shit.
I think it's also difficult because let's say they casted a new Doctor Doom. Even though we know at the end of Secret Wars, Doctor Doom comes back and all of this stuff. Reed brings Doctor Doom back and all of this jazz after they rebuilt the multiverse. It would be hard in the movies for, let's say, in order to actually take care of Doctor Doom, he must be literally taken care of. It would be hard to cast a new Doctor Doom just for, again, the Marvel audience will have to see one of their villains being killed off or not being utilized anymore or taking some time for them to utilize. I think this gives them like that easy out where now after RDJ is done, now you can actually cast a new Doom going forward. And I think that's why they specifically chose him. It is a cop out to a certain degree, but it also is a pretty smart move to be like, all right, let's move this actor that we know can act his ass off, have him play this role, twist up the story just a little bit, mix up the lore just a little bit, bring it everything full circle yet again, and then after that, we could just recast another Doctor Doom, and then boom.
Still not with casting him as Doctor Doom because it's like they just should have been their own thing. I
Yep.
understand what you're talking about. It's like damn, the first time we see Doctor Doom, him being a variant or something or some, it's like a Tony Stark MCU arc that's been going on this whole time. It's like damn, like why not just give us why not give us Von Doom from the start?
So that goes hand in hand with this Fantastic Four film. Like, why can't we just go ahead and get the Fantastic Four in our universe? But it looks like we're getting it from a different one. So, honestly, like with that thought, I it can go hand in hand. Like, yes, it's annoying that they pretty much just copped out bringing RDJ in, but if you're gonna say that for Doom, then why don't we say this for Fantastic Four? You got to look at it from both sides, though. They just saw a cash grab. They just saw a cash grab and said, "Here, Von Doom variant," and then we'll bring him in later because that we're not getting our Fantastic Four until later, and we're not getting X-Men until way later. So it's just probably like a buffer because people have been complaining, "We want Doom, we want Doom, we want Doom," and they're like, "All right, RDJ, you want to come back and play Doom for a couple films until we find a good Doom to play for this universe?"
This was really because they dropped the ball with Kang. Like I understand what they was building towards, but when you had a nigga that was talking about defeating Thor before in his past and doing all this and that, and you got him defeated by highly intelligent ants, it's like damn, like that puts a whole. It makes everybody look at Kang like you lost to ants and Ant Man in an Ant Man movie, granted, but it's like, bro, this can't be y'all next big bad losing to a bottom tier superhero y'all got.
All right, so if we're rebooting everybody, does that
So, like-
happen in the X-Men phase?
Yeah, right before. I feel like at the end
I
of
would say
Secret
right
Wars,
before the niggas get in here.
at the end
When
of
we
Secret
reboot
Wars.
this shit, just have everybody on the same Earth.
Does that
Yeah.
include Fantastic Four?
I think
Yes.
just
They gonna
like how,
new people.
yeah,
No, keep them niggas.
nah, I'm pretty sure they're gonna cast new people because some of the actors are gonna cost too much for to have all of them in one singular film. You have to get some
Right.
newer talent so that you don't have to pay them that much. That's why
If they
getting
did have all these talents, their marketing budget would be non-existent damn near.
yeah, that's why getting Florence Pugh back would be a fucking hassle. Luckily, they already got her for this deal, so she was already on the cuff to shoot the Thunderbolts movie. But getting her after is gonna be fucking hassle. in comparison to now, in relation to before. But I also think a key factor that I think we might be missing, overlooking, Kang created this universe, and technically Marvel created this universe because they had a whole lot of issues with the rights for the other characters. So now that the rights are coming back, now they have to find ways to bring these characters in, and at least to fix the issue that Kang provided from outside the movie theaters and inside the movie theater.
Yeah.
And I think especially with how we're seeing the Maker and the new Ultimates comics right now, he basically went to a different Earth or different universe. And since the Ultimates universe was destroyed, and he's now recreating that universe to his image, basically stopping superheroes from being superheroes, killing them, taking away their powers before they got them, and everything like that. And I think that they did this on purpose to try and kind of show the similarities behind Kang and give them that out to say this is why mutants wasn't here, because Kang knew that they were going to be too powerful for him to be able to control. This is why these certain characters weren't in here. This is why these certain characters wasn't in here, and everything like that. And kind of take that meticulous approach like the Maker is doing in the recent Ultimates universe, or Ultimate Invasion at least.
And you okay? So you saying they're gonna still explain? They're gonna use that just with now instead of with Kang with Doom?
I think they're gonna still use that with Kang. I think I heard somewhere or something that we was watching where Kang is still somewhat of a factor. He's just obviously not gonna be the main factor anymore. I think that's the reason why we're gonna have all of those characters, like such as the X-Men, Fantastic Four, all of these individuals not in the main MCU, because Kang all along didn't want those specific characters there, because those are the people he probably has the most issues with in regards of people that he has to face, type of thing.
That makes sense.
Okay. Yeah, I'm rolling with
So,
that.
I think that's what they'll do. I think they'll still show the
We need a
Kang
hard
council.
reboot.
Yeah, I think they're gonna keep what works. Obviously, keep the Spider-Man, keep that flow that you have with that one. If you
But
come
what
back,
else works?
if you come back with the World War Hulk
Daredevil.
movie, Daredevil. If you come back with the World War Hulk movie that really puts the stamp back on hulking and the idea of Hulk, and if he becomes what not Mephisto, what's the nigga name? When he gets older and I guess wiser
Maestro.
but evil, Maestro. If they turn it into that, I think that could be a key crucial role going forward. They have a few things here and there. Captain America isn't too bad. They can still use that. If Thunderbolts ends up turning to the Dark Avengers, I guess they could still use that. Doctor Strange is good. Fantastic Four will be good, that they could still use. Young Avengers, let's see how they operate in Doomsday and Secret Wars to see if they'll actually be good. And then they might have the new rebooted T'Challa as well, which
Yeah,
I
bro.
think, and Blade too. So they have a couple things that's going to be coming on the horizon that might take the viewership from the original like Avengers teams or just Marvel heroes that aren't
It'll be a new,
type of
just
thing.
usher in an entirely new MCU.
Yeah,
X-Men would just be the signal for that.
yeah.
So would they recast the Hulk too?
I don't think so.
Because I don't
We
see
haven't
nothing
seen them for
from-
so long.
I don't
Really?
see nothing with if they do like some encouraging shit. They could bring back Eric Bana Hulk. I say this shit all the time. They could bring that nigga back for World War Hulk, but Mark Ruffalo's Hulk is not enough anger in that nigga at all to be.
Well, if they reset that, what if they're not? You don't reset the entire character, but you reset the character, like the actual character of the Hulk.
Oh, the
What-
bird.
Because we-
the version?
Yeah, like we haven't had that we haven't had that since the last Avengers movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they reset the Hulk and Bruce Banner joint, then that shit would have to work.
They have some. They have some.
My only
potentiality.
thing with the original Avengers that's left in this universe at this current moment, do they want to keep doing this for another like 10, 15 years? Is it just better to reset them?
after that Thor movie, I know Chris Hemsworth like, yo, I
Yeah.
did not pick up acting to be a fucking goofball with a hammer.
Yeah.
He probably gonna be like, yo, Marvel, either you kill me off or some shit gonna happen because y'all can use the little
This would
girl
be the
to, like,
perfect time.
Well, that's
They
the
even
bad
got to kill
part.
them all.
Well, that's the
Hire his
bad part.
brother.
During the last Thor movie, you know, at the end where it said Thor will return.
yeah.
During like the private screening that they did, like for the first release for everybody on the red carpet and stuff for this movie, Chris Hemsworth didn't even know that it was going to say that, and he's like, "Oh, I'm returning." He didn't even know. He said that during an interview. I'm like, "Oh."
This is the time to knock like everybody off. I think the entire MCU that it's gonna be a lot easier for them to tell stories if they don't have to go through these real world issues, which are very real.
If you knock off Thor, but you look at it now, like they got Sentry. That's essentially Marvel's Superman. You bring in other stronger characters. Like this is a time for him to bring in Blue Marvel. This is a time where he can be like, back in the '60s when I was
Hyperion.
Yeah, like exactly, bro. Like you bring in niggas like Hyperion, Sentry,
Blue Marvel, yeah.
You bring in a Blade. You bring in some Nova, some Quasar.
Yep.
Like
then the original characters, they lost somewhere. Like we'll get them back, but they lost somewhere. Like until we find them, you got to deal with these original characters, or you got to deal with these new characters until we can find Thor. And then when we do find Thor, it's not Chris Hemsworth. And when we do find Iron Man, it's not Robert Downey Jr. When we do find Doctor Strange, it's not Cumberbatch, whatever his name is.
Benedict Cumberbatch.
Benedict Cumberbatch, yeah.
Benedict gotta stay for a while. Like his.
No, I mean, bro, he been doing this now for. He was not an original Avenger, but he was in the second Avenger, right?
Nah.
No.
When did we start getting him?
We got him when he got his own right before Infinity War. He had his own movie before that.
Yeah, 2016, Doctor Strange came out, and then we had Infinity War in like 2019.
Next year is 10 years. If they don't reboot him now and they build any story around Doctor Strange, which I imagine they would.
Well, that's the thing. You just finish off his trilogy, because we already know he's with what's homegirl name? Cleo.
Cleo, yeah.
Cleo. So finish that off. Let him do these Doctor Doom films, but keep him in the the two Avengers movies, and just keep him in the background. He doesn't need to play a major role at that point.
But here's the thing: does Benedict Cumberbatch want to do that?
I get that, but
for the right price,
he will. But my thing is,
maybe
you don't,
not.
You don't have to be a major player. You can still go do your other movies, but we may just want you to come in and do a few things. May not be fighting scene. Maybe we just need you in your spot with Wong. Wong could probably be the main person coming out of that building, but he's still talking to Strange or something.
Yeah, like T said, like keep Doctor Strange on the back burner. I feel like Benedict Cumberbatch, like he does a pretty good job at Strange. So,
but what if he don't want to do? What if he does get to a point like halfway through this plan where he just doesn't want to do it anymore?
I mean, that's possible, and they can also, like T said, they can have Wong taking over as Sorcerer Supreme or whatever.
Well, technically, Wong is Sorcerer Supreme right now.
Yeah, they could have Wong just take over, but I mean, have Stephen Strange pop in. He don't even have to pop in every 2 years. Like from what we got now to the X-Men saga, let's say till 2030, we see Stephen Strange probably 2 times from his movie. Well, damn, the Avengers joints, and then his movie, and we don't see him for another whatever. But it's like, bro,
I just don't think everybody got that Hugh Jackman sauce in them. Pause if needed.
I feel like Benedict Cumberbatch does. If he's not always appearing, it'll be like oh shit, like Doctor Strange. Like he'll be one of those familiar faces where people be like, it's good to see him, because like I thought he's a pretty good Doctor Strange.
Yeah,
but it's just my thing is if you reboot 90 to 95% of the characters, it's just like, what type of risk are you taking for that other 5? Maybe it's not a big risk, and that's to y'all point. Like if it's not a big risk and these actors are willing to stay on. But like, what happens if you get it? My thing is, because I feel like I feel like when Robert Downey Jr. like, yeah, I want to be done. They was like, we thought you was gonna be Hugh Jackman, brother. Like we thought you was about to be here with Iron Man. You had your both feet in the grave, and then they struggled trying to tell a story after the RDJ phase. That's what we in now. And it's like if they start the next saga, the X-Men saga, and say Benedict Cumberbatch is like, I don't think I want to do this anymore. And then they planned out roles like a larger. Again, if they do them as a background role, like i.e. how we've seen the Hulk, you could probably get rid of somebody like Doctor Strange and replace him. If you don't see him often, but if they were to happen to use larger with that character, that's when I would be concerned, because it's just like, well, you had the proper opportunity at the end of Secret Wars to get rid of him. Same thing with Chris Hemsworth. Like if they carry Chris Hemsworth's Thor over, and he really just start getting adamant that I really don't want to do this anymore, the perfect time to recast him would have been right at the end of the Secret Wars, when you booted the entire universe. And so now you're gonna have to do something that's kind of like I would imagine, wouldn't it be preferred to replace him? And it's like, so I just hope, I don't know, they better really have some contracts locked up.
I'm gonna say not even have to replace these niggas, because if you replace somebody like Chris Hemsworth or Iron Man, these new actors are gonna be like, okay, I want my trilogy, I want my multi-picture deal. And you're gonna be like, damn, we already got 4 Thor movies, we got 3 Iron Man joints. We ain't really want to sign you to make a new trilogy or something like that. If we replacing them, we could replace a Thor with, like, maybe we don't have to have, Thor as like a main character, have it be a side character, like a la Beta Ray Bill, some shit like that. You bring in some other major characters to join the Avengers that haven't had any shine, and go from there. Because if we bringing in a new Thor or a new Hulk or a new Black Widow or a new this and that, we just recreating that team, and now it's like people gonna be confused, like, oh, are they different or are they gonna be the same? So now we need another Thor.
That's why I would say you don't need to see them for. I do agree with you on that. We do not need to see them for. And I do agree, you got enough characters in the Marvel universe, period, that you could just swap these people out. Beta Ray Bill, great example. You could focus in the X-Men saga. You could focus on Beta Ray Bill as the Thor-like character that you need. It don't have to be Thor.
With these niggas, I feel like Marvel, they don't have to focus on these Avenger characters anyway. Like every character really don't even need a movie for real like that. Like even if they good in one movie, like I wouldn't necessarily say Gladiator would need a movie, but as a side character in some X-Men films, or maybe make an appearance in another cosmic movie or something, you could have him have like a big presence. But I wouldn't say start just because people like the character. It's like, okay, get the cameras rolling, Gladiator get in the movie. It's gonna be like.
That's why I think they grouping up. It's about to be mad groups, like
the Annihilators.
Especially X-Men.
That's the best team in the comics. You got the Annihilators is Ronan the Accuser, Silver Surfer, Gladiator, Quasar, and Nova. Like and Beta Ray Bill. Like, nigga, you got a movie right there. You could just bring them in as some cosmic level Avengers, and then they don't even need a movie, but they can show up in some Infinity War type shit at the end, or have some type of scenes. But I feel like Marvel, what they
even if you did do a movie, if they did an Annihilators movie and the threat was large enough and they had the right budget towards it, I would see that movie. I'm going to see it. I'm definitely going to see that. So that it's honestly, especially in the X-Men era, it just makes sense, because the X-Men saga, the whole saga, is going to be referred to, or at least has the vibe right now of being referred to as the X-Men saga. That's basically, like you saying, in my eyes, a team sagas. The X-Men ain't just one person. It's team. You're going to need, whatever the threat is, whatever the story direction is, it should be other teams involved that happen to play the larger role. It shouldn't be just any one person. And right now it look like they're doing a good job of building it up, because you got to think about it. We got 4. Before we get to the ending credits of Secret Wars, you got to understand we have 4 teams. We got Thunderbolts, 5, excuse me. We got Thunderbolts, Fantastic Four, X-Men, Young Avengers or Champions, whatever they going to be called, and the Defenders. That's 5 teams going into the new saga, most of which are all unique and new characters, to your point of just focus on the new people. The only one that could possibly have old, like, characters that are older is gonna be It's gonna be Avengers, the regular Avengers, because they'll have like Captain America, Sam, even though it's Sam Wilson's, they'll have, if Thor's back, Thor, Doctor Strange, like they'll have those are the only ones that's gonna have those characters though. Scarlet Witch, I think Scarlet Witch might end up coming back, being during the Avengers part.
She's not dead, so.
Yeah, no, I think she's gonna end up coming back as like.
Nigga, I thought
Remember me? That'd be crazy.
Scarlett Johansson.
She just come from the depths of death.
I was like Scarlet, but I forgot her name is Scarlet. You talk about Scarlet Witch, the character.
Let's talk about her coming back.
Yeah, she gonna Scarlett Johansson coming back.
For Secret Wars, yeah.
They gonna do Razor from the dead?
To shoot a pistol.
It's a multiverse variant.
That's true. With the multiverse, you can bring people back too. Can't forget about that.
But let's think about this. They bring Scarlet Witch back in Avengers, Doomsday, or
Ain't she mad at Disney?
But what would her character add to the storyline?
Scarlet Witch, it gives her.
No, I'm talking about. Are you talking about Scarlet Witch or Black Widow?
I was just saying Scarlett Johansson because of the nostalgic factor.
She not that nostalgic, bro.
Nah, the only if Clint Barton was like a major character or like a major role for the Avengers team and was struggling, then maybe so. But outside of Clint and Hulk, outside of Hulk and Clint, she don't really do much.
I think y'all minimizing just how much that relationship she had with Clint and Hulk and how that drove a lot of what transpired in Infinity War. I think.
You got a point though, because if it's Maestro Hulk and he is a problem,
yep.
you could go get a little variant Scarlett Johansson to just.
Their relationship was not like that for her to calm down Maestro. Think about it, because Maestro Hulk wasn't Banner dead for years.
If it's this Bruce Banner, if it's this Bruce Banner, like Mark Ruffalo's Bruce Banner, and they just go a new route, I don't think it would be the Maestro. It would be a different telling of it with Mark Ruffalo.
Johansson and stop saying her name. What did we see Black Widow and Hulk relationship pan out to besides them hugging up on the bar when Ultron walked in? What did they do?
That's the issue, though. It couldn't never go that far because in the midst of them actually trying, that's when she ended up getting killed.
Yeah, Rob, but I'm saying like in the midst of their relationship, but it's like, look, bro, like that relationship didn't mean shit. Hulk got a whole son right now. We got Planet Hulk.
It was
it's true. He's right.
If she came back and let's say they do Hulk justice. Let's say now look at this, Rob. Let's say they turn Mark Ruffalo Hulk into the ultimate fucking killing machine, and he get back on Earth and he wreaking shit. Niggas going crazy in the theater. And they like, how do we calm him down? He just beat Sentry. This and this and this. And Fury's like, bring out the secret weapon. And it's fucking Scarlett Johansson. Rob, I might choke every nigga in the theater.
How else are you gonna take care of this Hulk? How else are you gonna bring this Hulk?
Someone came in. Hold on, 1 second, y'all. 1 second. Nuclear Pete just came in. Crockles might need to adjust his gain. He'll cut out sometimes for like a quarter of a second.
Okay. Let me see.
Thanks, Nuclear.
Make it a little bit. Thanks, Nuclear.
Who in the Marvel Universe right now, outside of Sentry, is fighting World War Hulk who is standstill? I'll wait.
We said this is mind you after Secret War. We got Hyperion. We got other niggas, but I'm saying if Hulk beat them and they like, yo, pull out the secret weapon and it's Scarlett Johansson as Black Widow, it's like, bro, that's worse than the power of friendship shit right there. You mean to tell me Hulk rampaged through all these Earth's mightiest heroes, and Scarlett Johansson, the Black Widow, is what calmed him down?
I mean, he was depressed about her ass for 5 years after the events.
Rob, we get that, but Mark Ruffalo's Hulk, like,
what Nuclear said, WTF, Scarlett Johansson gonna do?
See, that's what I'm like, bro. Like the story wouldn't progress because it's like their relationship. It was like, okay, Hulk and Black Widow. Yeah, they never got to progress. But even when she died in Infinity War, it was like, well, one of them niggas had to go. I would have rather it been Hawkeye because I ain't really give a fuck about Hawkeye. But it's like now that she's gone, it's like okay. Then they put her movie out after she was
That's
gone.
how
It was like,
you're
okay.
viewing it, though. But when
But
we're
Rob, who
looking
has said
at the
Rob
screen,
since she died in the movies? Who said I wish Scarlett Johansson was in this movie? You ain't never heard nobody say that shit since she gone. You never said it.
nobody, but people still see that her missing
Rob.
is still there. She was still a
But
pivotal.
like, okay, let's to D's point though. Even all right, let me go a little bit further with D's point. Even if they did bring her back for Maestro, they tried to do something like that. What role would she have after that? All her friends gone.
I think she
Ain't nobody.
I think
What's
they're
the point of her being there? Her sister probably gonna be dead by the end of this century. This Thunderbolts movie.
I think she might. The only reason why she might come back is the nostalgia factor.
Yo,
Rob, she's not nostalgic.
So
She
nuclear
is
said
nostalgic.
the only people asking for her back in the movies are her simps.
Rob.
Promise you.
Rob.
She is nostalgic.
Name one iconic moment which has Hey Big Guy.
Don't worry, I'll wait.
Yo, Rob, you heard me? He trying to ask ChatGPT, what has Scarlett Johansson done in MCU? Nothing.
I think the movie where she had when the Red Room being destroyed and that fighting scene that she had in the midst of that, I think that was pretty dope.
In her movie, her own
Nigga
movie.
talking about her movie that came out when she
The
died.
nigga asked the whole entire MCU, I can't use her movie.
The movie that came out after she died. I'm saying, what did she do? The you was like, yo,
No, don't pick and choose. Don't pick and
But there's no
choose.
picking and choosing. Okay, minus her movie out, what did she do with the Avengers that was memorable? That will make you say, hey, I miss her. I wish she was back.
Usually it was her back and forth with Clint. Usually they were like the comedic type of.
Wait.
Clint
Say,
gone now.
let's don't forget what happened in Budapest. One
Clint
line,
gone anyways.
he retired.
Dog. I've never heard a nigga say, yo, the back and forth between Hawkeye and Black Widow, that shit was dope.
Many
Rob.
fans found Black Widow to be a compelling and nuanced character, admiring her development and the
Get
emotional
off chat
and
GPT.
the emotional depth.
He really did go to
She
Chat
brought
GPT.
to the MCU. This is
He
not
really did.
from me. This is from the fans.
This is from the GPT.
It's not gonna be nostalgic to y'all niggas. I understand, but that don't mean that it's not nostalgic to everybody else that watched this motherfucking film.
Rob. Rob.
Okay.
What, Rob, I'm telling you right now, you don't build up to Secret War and do all of this shit to bring back Black Widow.
She's not gonna be the only one.
If you gotta use Google AI for your answer, take the L.
She's not gonna be the only one. Y'all making it seem like she about to be the only character, and Secret Wars is about to be her going against Dr. Doom by herself. No,
saying,
nigga.
But bringing her back is not gonna add anything.
It's not gonna put butts in the seat.
Y'all can't
Rob,
say
hold on.
that.
Hold on.
That's the thing. No. T. Rob keeps saying it will add something back, but he's saying, but what is she adding back? You mentioned the banter between her and Clint, the relationship that was developing between her and Hulk. Nobody gave a fuck about that relationship. No one has ever said anything about Natasha and Clint going back and forth as some
Who cared about that relationship for 5 years after Infinity War?
Well, hold on.
And then he went to the planet Sakaar and he got his off and forgot all
That
about
was
that.
before, and that was Hulk. It wasn't Bruce Banner.
Rob, but now he's Bruce Banner. When he introduced his son, he was like, damn, I wish this was Natasha's boy. He never said that goofy shit. No one has ever
Who
said
would
in
say that goofy shit?
You would.
No. Why would he say that in front of his fucking son, knowing his son got a different wife that he probably doesn't even know about because Hulk is smashing the cheeks?
But that's the whole thing. If Hulk did end up getting into another relationship and one that could bear an entire child, it does kind of undermine the idea, like the relationship with Natasha. It don't got that same emphasis that they were maybe trying to grow from the original Avengers.
Rob, we
it's
seen
in
her
comparison.
and Hulk. Rob,
It's in
that was a
comparison.
decade ago. think of this,
is
Rob.
in comparison, what was one of the main driving points why people like Captain America and his ending? It's because after everything that he went through, he was finally able to have his opportunity with Peggy. They put Easter eggs. They had this nigga talk about it. They showed his emotional distress knowing that she had dementia, and he went back and knowing that he never had an opportunity with her. So what does he do for his ending? He goes back and stays with the bitch.
Okay, that's Captain America.
And lives his
You're
life.
talking about Captain America
Now-
and Peggy Carter. We're talking
Now-
about Black Widow and Hulk. Bruh, in the MCU, this happened 10 years ago, Rob. No one has ever been like, yo, I wish they fought.
Watch
I
them do
really
this
wish.
though.
Bro, nobody has ever
What?
said, I wish the Hulk and Black Widow really got to.
Did goddamn
Listen.
it, I did.
I just want this to be here in case it's for some way, shape, or Robin being right. Then he come here. He gonna come in here with a white beat on Tim's. Then he just gonna be like, I told y'all. This is what they was
He ain't gonna
doing.
have Tim
watch
on.
that
He
scene.
ain't
Marvel
gonna-
can
No, no,
kiss their
no.
Rock's awful success goodbye if they do some stupid shit
And watch
like
that scene put tears in niggas' eyes. And they come
Hold
back
up,
here
hold
and
up,
be
hold
like,
up,
hey, I ain't gonna lie. That shit was a little compelling. Now I'ma really feel
Hell would never come
like
out
I'm
my
Nigga, we
mad.
watched Black Widow die and nobody cried. You think niggas about to cry because she came back? And
Hold on,
That
hold
shit
on.
was- That shit
When
was
they said-
compelling.
hold on, hold on.
If you're sitting
Everybody-
here telling me
But here's
when
the
you
thing,
watched
though.
Infinity War and you seen her and Clint fighting over who is gonna sacrifice themselves, if that shit did not hit you,
Nope,
I don't know
not at all.
what is wrong with you.
But here's the
didn't.
thing, though. Here's the thing, though. When you heard on your left, when everybody was coming back, more people were happy that Anthony Mackie came back than she did. Anthony Mackie got his own movie that was better than her movie.
And the crazy part is, when Anthony Mackie was turning to Infinity War, ain't nobody. When in the theater I was in, when they showed him turn to dust, the theater was quiet. When it was a Spider-Man and Black Panther and the other niggas, everyone's like, no, no, no. But when you heard on your left, nigga, right now, I got goosebumps. On your left, nigga. If you hear, hey, big guy, and the Hulk, I promise you, niggas gonna be enraged.
D said, I'm gonna slap everybody in the theater.
Any bitch that look like Black Widow getting slapped.
That shit gonna be top tier cinema. I don't want to hear no
Okay.
excuses when that
Yo, what's the next
fucking
topic?
thing
Rob
comes
pissed me
out.
off talking about some
When
toxic
that
shit.
scene, when that scene comes out, I don't want to hear no excuses. Don't
We talked about
no
this one.
niggas better be
Bro.
like, hey, that scene was a little compelling. It was a little emotionally charged. I kind of like it. Don't come back here, copping the
Rob, it was-
plea.
Rob, it was a decade ago when they started dating. Nobody.
The wild part is if the MCU has not like if we genuinely wrong about the MCU getting better, I could see that happening. If we're genuinely wrong, I can see them doing what Rob talking about though.
They can kiss their box office money goodbye.
Let me double check real quick.
Here we go, ChatGPT again.
No, I'm checking to see. Yeah, Scarlett Johansson is returning to the Marvel Cinematic Universe as an executive producer for the 2025. I didn't even know that.
Oh, she just paying for it.
Scarlett Johansson.
I was about to say, there's no way she coming back. She got into a fight. Her movie after giving Disney a sweat and tears.
I think that's what I was messing up. I think she might actually be a part of the bad Avengers coming from the different universe. So like in not Secret Wars but fucking Doomsday, when the main MCU is fighting the other universe's heroes, the last other universe alive, and they're fighting for rights basically on who survives. Like we seen in the leaks, supposedly that's gonna be a version of the Illuminati and a Dark Avengers or a dark version of the Avengers. I think Scarlett Johansson might be playing a role in that. And she
I'll
might
be fine with that.
As Scarlett Johansson?
Yeah,
Or excuse me, as Black Widow?
yeah.
I'll be fine with that as long as we don't get no hate.
I don't
big
know. I
guy.
do kind of agree
I'll be
with
fine
Dito.
with that.
It's unnecessary.
It's unnecessary, but I'll be okay with that. I don't want her having no ties like, hey, big guy. Like, if the Hulk see her, like, nah.
I'm not gonna lie to you though. If Battle World happened and she already been introduced even as one of the Dark Avengers, that put me way too close to the idea of her doing that "Hey Big Guy" scene.
But bro, let's
That's
think
why I'm
about this.
like,
But the thing
If
is,
we in
though,
Battle
does she?
World, the Dark Avengers, what would Natasha really be doing up against niggas on Battle World? Like
that's what
let's
I
be
don't think
real.
it's necessary.
It's
I don't
not
think the
gonna be
character is necessary.
every nigga not gonna be Doctor Doom and Galactus.
Rob on everything I
You gonna
love.
have like Daredevil there?
Put me on
Yeah,
Battle World.
Even at
Put
that,
me in Battle
Daredevil
World.
winning that.
Scarlett
Put me in Battle
Johansson
World
is
with one arm.
spanking your ass,
It's-
nigga.
Who?
Black
Daredevil.
Widow is spanking your ass.
No, she's not.
Rob.
Black
All
Widow
right,
is.
y'all gotta chill. She's still a trained assassin. She not. It's not like she just nobody. She a Russian assassin.
Okay.
There's minor people who she could face. Like, okay, all right, hear me out. Her or the Patriot dude, the Price Right Captain America.
Oh,
Walker.
Walker, Agent Walker.
Yeah.
Or something? Yeah.
Yeah. Her versus him. Who,
I'm taking Shorty. We just got in Captain America. Captain Israeli. Oh,
Val?
word.
Yo. All right. Yeah, let's go to
Captain
the next.
Israelis.
These niggas is
That's her name.
Yo, please tell me her name not really Captain is.
not.
Please tell me.
She was called, bro. Rob told us 2 weeks ago. Captain
Bro,
Israel.
shit.
Israel.
Yo, y'all gotta stop. Y'all gotta stop.
Bro, you ought to have
I
me say
can't
it wrong,
do.
man. Captain
Bro, we can't be. Yo, she can't be called no Captain Israel.
Yeah.
Her name. Oh, see, Rob told me that shit. Her name is.
When did I say that?
You were like Captain Israel, but they can't say the name. Her name.
I don't remember saying that, sir. I don't remember saying that at all.
Yo, I swear. What
Nah,
did I
Check
nigga.
the tape. We gotta check the tape.
Nigga.
Yo, y'all got me crying. Oh.
This nigga came up with that shit. Was like, I'm gonna pin it on this nigga.
Yo.
I never thought of Captain
Oh my
Israeli is crazy.
So that's not.
Yo, that's cool.
Yo, that's not her name.
Yo, I could have swore.
Yeah, nah, nigga.
From a heart attack.
Nigga tried to rope me into these shenanigans is crazy.
I'm reading this shit. It's Captain Israel nowhere on the page. Oh shit.
Nigga really looked it up. All right. We kind of
Yeah, we gotta go to the next topic because I'm gonna die.
Oh man. All right.
Oh
We already did
man.
Daredevil. I think we're gonna let a couple episodes breathe again. Breathe some more before we touch into that again. Solo leveling. We have officially reached Jeju Island in solo leveling. It is officially 3 episodes left as well. I did not expect, and if we go back in time to previous pods, we did not expect for them to go this
Rush.
far, this fast, and reach the Jeju Island arc. A lot of people have been having issues with the pacing. I'm on the firm belief where I don't necessarily care too much about the pacing. I'm just surprised that they've reached this far so quickly. So I'm curious about y'all. How y'all feel about Jeju Island being the final arc of this season, and how do y'all feel about the pacing so far coming up to it?
I love it.
Yeah.
I would say I was expecting. I don't know. I thought they were gonna use this training episode to focus more on the training and something with Jinwoo spending time with his mom or something. But then when they started raid, I was like, "Oh, episode about to be over." I'm like, "Hold up, we seen him kill a few ants, and we saw Baru, and we saw Baru kill an S-rank hunter." I was like, "Oh, this shit moving quite along pretty fast." So I really do like the pacing. I enjoy it. I do like the small changes they've been making. Excuse me, from the manhwa. I think they might, like in the manhwa, I feel like it was heavily focused on Jinwoo always leveling up and always getting upper hand and always winning his fights. I feel like maybe they might have some of the Japanese S-rank hunters be able to hold their own for a while against Baru, like flesh out some of these fight scenes or something. But other than that, I've really been enjoying it so far.
How about everybody else?
Man,
Yeah,
I'm enjoying the
agree.
pacing. I'm enjoying the action. Like the animation is top tier. That- I love Solo Leveling. I love it. Honestly, like you know how tangent how I keep saying how I don't like the end of the Demon Slayer. The only thing that holds it together is the animation.
Yes.
This storytelling is amazing. Animation holds it up together. Oh my goodness. If I could get this side by side with Demon Slayer, I would throw Demon Slayer in the trash.
For real.
All right, yo.
It's they take a simple story. They take a story. It is relatively simple. It's essentially like Dungeons and Dragons, you know, which we've seen millions of times before. Space. There's no, you know, it's look. There's this guy. He started out super weak, and he ended up just building himself up further and further through a combination of luck, a combination of destiny, combination of intelligence, and a combination of strategy. And that's like, I love that because it feel like when people do animes, not like, especially in more, I feel like they had a lot of pressure from everything that came for them to make something that was like really intricate and complex, and had like different themes and different feels and just whatever to it. And with you know, like as an example, Attack on Titan was unique. We never really had saw anything like that before, but they tried to go so in depth with their story that they eventually ended up losing a lot of their fans. You don't get this with Solo Leveling. With Solo Leveling, it's so simple, it's easy to latch on this work. And on top of that, the studios and the people who are behind the actual production of the anime, they actually giving fans what fans want to see in an anime, like how people want to digest the anime. You know, it's like, yo, we just came out last year, okay, well, we already concluded with the manhwa, so let's just give you the next season now. And they probably will be right back on it in 2026 with the next season. It's not it's like things that you look to wanting from anime that you don't typically get from anime. They're doing. They're progressing the story. They're not putting a lot of filler in there. They're giving you plenty of fights. They're giving you, now granted, I know is a lot to give credit to for that in that regard, but we also know how the animation world works. They like to milk their money out, but to not be able to get that in this instant, it's really good. Us ending at the Jeju Island arc, I didn't think that we would. I know we had a couple podcasts here where we were trying to like debunk where it would end and exactly what place it would be, and we were like, nah, maybe Jeju Island end up being a movie or to be next. But for them to be able to fit it into this season, and it doesn't feel like anything was rushed. It doesn't feel like I missed it. It doesn't feel like you know, they neglected in any way, shape, or form, be it the animation, be it anything, any element that is the case, and to still be able to get it this season. It's just like, it almost make you wonder if like the production team behind it is like just anime fans. It's like no, like they genuinely fan. Like they know what fans want to see and do, because I can't think of anything else that just came out in such a pleasing way for anime. I can't remember the last thing that's been like that. Maybe Dragon Ball, but not even, because Dragon Ball money milked when they did Super. They milked money for the first like 3 months of it, maybe longer than that. I can't think of what would be the last thing that we got that was just this is what you want, here you go, and didn't do other stuff, didn't do corporate things behind it. That's great. I'm very excited to end out the Jeju Island arc. I'm very, very excited. Do you think that they'll flex? Like, we were talking about this before, but I don't know if we talked about the actual podcast. Do you think that they'll flesh out some areas since it has?
3
They
episodes.
low key could rep it,
I believe
but
so.
they low key you could wrap it up in 2 episodes. So do you think that they flesh anything out, any fights?
I think they might flesh out all of the fights just a little bit further.
So that way it could stretch.
Yeah, at max they're gonna use 2.5 of these remaining 3 episodes, all for everything Jeju Island related. I'm guessing, and then use that last half portion of the episode to finish out everything.
They definitely got to flesh out. Because we read in the manga, China's S-Ray Hunter. He does have a scene where he slash of a sword, but it's like they don't flush anything out with him after that. I feel like they have to show the strength of the S-Ray Hunters of Japan to some extent. If they beat the Koreans that easy in the training arc, it's like, okay, on Jeju Island, they have to do something. They just can't get wiped out that fast while all the Korean hunters are alive, save one. So probably they focus it on that. And then the fight with Jinwoo and Baru, I feel like the Demon King fight was cool. That lasted for like, they said 7 minutes. Even the fight when he fought, he called him Tusk, I forgot the dude's name or whatever. We just fight him. That fight scene was cool. But I mean, for his fight scene with Baru, it's gonna have to top his joint with Igris in season 1. So I think they're gonna go all out with that and definitely flesh that out a little bit more.
Question: do you know how long the fight with Igris was?
In the first season, let me look it up.
Yeah,
Igris was an episode.
it was an entire episode.
Episode for the most part.
Yo, if we got 3 episodes left, I feel like you could take 15 minutes out of the second to last. Not this episode that's coming up, the one after it. I feel like you could dedicate the last half of that episode and the first half of the following episode. So that would be the second and third episode. The second half of second episode and the first half of the third episode in these last 3. That's what I'm trying to say. I don't know. I confuse myself there. But I feel like you could use that for and then whatever needs to happen before that, you let that happen before that. Because then that would be an episode and a half that would be dedicated towards the S tier hunters and like everything going crazy. And then the second half of that second episode, you still get 30 minutes. It would be the equivalent of a full episode. It just would be broken up by the second and the first half of the last 2 episodes. That, I don't know, does that sound like it would work? Do you think that would work?
Yeah, it could.
I think it could.
I don't want it to be shorter than Igris.
Damn, this next.
No, for real.
I'm looking at it. This next season might be the last season.
Next
The way
season,
the way they moving. If they got a movie,
They got
next,
they got the recruitment arc. During one of the niggas' funerals, Jinwoo meets Norma Selner, an upgrader who works for the American government. After that, Jinwoo creates his own, the Asian Guild. Then they have.
he got to fight the S-Rank Hunter from America. He got to fight the nigga that. Yeah, once he got to fight Thomas Andre.
Yeah, that was the S-Rank Hunter from America.
Yeah, because he fight 2 of them. Because he kills the one. That's the one he names Greed after he messed with the little brother nigga.
Oh yeah.
So I mean that time in America, and then that's when his father is the dude that came from that tunnel. So I don't.
Yeah, but it's so much more that happened after that, right? It's so much more.
Yeah, because he got to get his army because all the gates. They might end that season with all those gates opening, and then start of season 4 or something like that. Could be the giants that come out the gate. That's when more hunters come around, and then
yes, the season where giants come in, that season could end it. I can see the pacing is going.
Yeah, if the Giants come in, let's say if we get like 13 episodes again, you got the Giants coming in. That could be episodes 1 and 2, and then by the time he fight the Dragon Monarch or whatever, that's definitely episode like 12, 13. Because really, after the Giants come in, he's just getting his army together, and then all the hunters around the earth are gathering around these gates. And then when his army come through the main big gate, like his old army, because he got to go back to the double dungeon.
Yeah.
to become the monarch. So yeah, that'll be season 4 or how many seasons they're gonna do it, but season 4 most likely.
Right after the double dungeon, the Japan Crisis arc starts.
Yeah.
What's Japan Crisis?
When an S-rank gate suddenly spawns in Tokyo and the S-rank strike squad assembled by the Japanese government proves to be too weak to handle it properly, Jinwoo decides to step in and do the job himself.
That's the Giants or after?
After that is the International Guild. Jinwoo is invited to America to represent Korea at
Yeah.
this International Guild Conference. Meanwhile, an ancient evil known as the Monarchs initiate their rematch with the rulers, their mortal enemies in the human world, by first killing off Christopher Reed, one of the 7 rulers' vessels.
Mm-hmm.
After that, that's the Monarch War. So the America thing that happens after the Japan Crisis arc, which I'm guessing is that big ass S rank gate that fucking I'm guessing Jinwoo takes care of. I'm guessing.
But it could get wrapped up in 2 seasons. I agree with Dean. I think it's a little too much to do
2
one.
seasons in a movie.
I don't even know if they're gonna do the movie right now.
That's what I'm saying. So much of it seemed too fan orientated. It's like very fan orientated. Cause like, don't get me wrong, fans like movies. We do like when we get anime movies. This is how it all usually occurs. Like you got one group that get the movie early, then you don't get to see it for a little while. Or if you don't go for a specific weekend, if it is global release or like it is in the same time that it kind of happens, or like within a week or two it happens from the Japanese release. If you don't, it's usually like 2-3. Is it?
Yeah.
It's usually only like 2 or 3 days that you get. Maybe 6. They do it over 2 weekends, but then after that you gotta wait a long time. I don't, because of everything else that Solo Leveling has done in regards to like pleasing fans. It really wouldn't shock me if they didn't do a movie at all, and they just gave us 4 seasons in 4 years, which we haven't seen in a while. Everything take breaks. All of these other anime, they take breaks.
That's true.
Bleach. When is Bleach come? Bleach just came back. I don't think we'll see Bleach in 2025.
Probably late 25.
We might, but if we didn't, would it surprise you?
It wouldn't at all. We had a lot of shit going on. Oh, somebody brought up Demon Slayer earlier. Just to let everybody know, Demon Slayer is releasing. Finally got the release date for the first of the Infinity War arc.
September,
Infinite
right?
Castle, not Infinity War. Infinite Castle.
Infinite Castle.
September, right?
Yep, September 12th.
Yeah.
There we go. September 12th of this year is when it is dropping. So we're gonna be. All right, yeah, but like 2 seasons, I think probably. Yeah, I don't think they're gonna do. If they were to use the movie, they would have did it specifically for this JJ. I would have assumed so. So that they could use that budget, but it doesn't seem like they need a movie budget. They said, "Fuck a movie budget, nigga. We'll show y'all how to make top tier animation."
Yeah.
Off a fucking TV show budget. So hey, hats off to these niggas. They're putting their foot in the ass of this series, and I appreciate it. I appreciate it dearly. We appreciate it. Real quick, I guess we can end off with Invincible War. We finally got Invincible War and Invincible. Spoiler alert, if you did not watch the recent episode of Invincible, now is your time to cut off. I don't know how you haven't watched it yet. You need to watch that shit. All right? Y'all got y'all warning. Invincible War has now dropped.
Got your warning.
And at the end of that, we have the introduction of Conquest. Now that we were talking about Solo Level and then we go over to Invincible, I kind of feel like the pacing, especially with the last 2 episodes of Invincible, is kind of comparable to the pacing of what we got in Solo right now. You had a super major event, and this doesn't usually happen in other scenario in regards to comic book movies. You don't have a major event followed by a super. I mean, I guess you could say Infinity War and Endgame, but technically we encapsulate that as the same event. It was just two different time periods in that same event. But with this, it's two completely different events that have no type of correlation with each other. You got Invincible War with Angstrom Levy, and then you got Conquest coming right in. And how are y'all feeling about the pacing for Invincible and leading up to the final episode dropping this Thursday?
I thought the pacing was. Go ahead, T.
Uh, so far the pacing has been good. I haven't really delved deep into the Invincible comics, but when we're discussing everything and how fast you guys are explaining what happens in the comics, and I can see that they're really making good pace with this because then they state it was going to be like 5 seasons of Invincible. For us to finally get Conquest, because we discussed it, Conquest probably wasn't coming till next season, but we're finally getting him with what, 2 episodes left.
Nah, this is the last episode.
So he's going to kill Conquest in 45 minutes. Huh.
But I mean, if that's the whole focus of the entire episode,
Yeah. So if it happens, I hope it's in a I hope it's on the same level as the Invincible War, because that episode, I wish it was longer. I wish they would span over 2 episodes because the animation was really good for that. Especially when they're doing the cleanup and you see Homeboy come back and try and fight Invincible, and him and his brother, he pretty much shows his brother, don't let him hit you. That's how he gets powers. Like it would have been cool to kind of expand it out more, because it kind of felt a little bit rushed, especially at the end when Extreme Levy lost his arm and he was yelling at the aliens to say fix me up, but it turns out that they actually rule over him in a sense, because he's like, yo, you never handled your end of the bargain, but and yet you still want us to help you. Nah, son, you're doing everything we need you to do before we even fix you up. So I know we're not done with Angstrom Levy at this point because he's still alive, and this whole it's like, I kind of don't like the Batman mentality, because even Cecil's like, if you kill one person, it will help save millions more. Why not do it? Especially Angstrom Levy, like, you literally just took down more than half the population. It seems like how fast that they were destroying buildings and killing off people and destroying everything in their path. But yet you still can't pull the trigger to off somebody that you know is gonna come back. It's like Batman with the Joker. If he takes care of the Joker day one, you got more people to live later on in life, instead of him constantly breaking out of Arkham and killing people. But then you have Cecil saying, like, yeah, you can still be a good guy at the end of the day, but sometimes you have to handle your business. At that point, I actually agreed with Cecil. Like, along the way, Cecil's been that kind of guy, but it's like, at this point, he actually makes a point to Mark where he's like, yo, you should have just offed him. You see what he did with your mom the last time. Why didn't you off him on the first go? And then he kind of annoyed me with Eve. I get it, you love her, but your mother and brother are out there. Like, he needs you back out there. I just need Mark to actually be Omni-Man for a moment.
He's not gonna be.
No. That's not full on Omni-Man, but have that mentality of, I need you. You need to take this one person out if it's going to save millions.
What's stopping him from being a villain then, if that's the case?
What do you mean, Mark?
Yeah.
His family and everybody that's living, all his friends.
Heroes don't kill, though. We've had I think we have as humans, we usually think the heroes don't kill, unless.
It depends on in which sense, though. In Invincible War, the heroes had to kill. If you let 16 marks go, prison is going to hold them.
That's
No,
true.
it's not. Yeah.
And then it's just a lot. But I'm gonna go real quick for the pacing. I feel like, well, I agree with T. Pacing wise, it's been good, but Invincible War should have been spaced out between two episodes. That way, day one and two, you can show Invincible teaming up with Oliver, showing him, this is what you do for certain heroes. Like, you want to be able to fight, but don't lose your control. Showing him how to fight Powerplex, I thought that was a really good touch. But days one and two, you show the effects. Like they didn't really touch on anything. You could have showed days one and two as one episode, and then shown like this is worse than Omni Man's an Invincible fight in Chicago.
They didn't
Like
show the.
we've got. You said what?
They didn't show the effects.
No, they did show the effects, but what he's saying is it could
They
have
didn't
spanned
flush
over
it
two.
out
Yeah, it could have been expanded out over 2 episodes per se.
because we got 4 days in one episode. They said, oh, the Earth took a hit, but it's like if you show day one and like if we take out that episode where he was fighting the dragon, I know they needed that. But let's say you had an episode where it was like day one and two of Invincible War. You show that's just gonna show the fear. Like you just show them flying through stuff and fighting heroes, but show the fear of like people. I know it's gonna cost a lot to animate, but show people running away, showing people like, yo, can we even trust any heroes? What's going on with Invincible? There's 16 different versions of Invincible flying around, right? Then day 3 and 4, you've got like Cecil talking to Mark, like, get your ass out there. Eve's gonna be okay. People are dying, heroes are dying. Like, we really need you out here. And then it's like day 4 when he's fighting Angstrom Levy and the heroes and the other Invincibles are sent to the other dimension. That could have been flushed out because it's like all this season we've been waiting and we find out Mark's been spied on. Angstrom Levy comes in for one episode and now he's gone. And it's like, dang, like y'all could have flushed this out a little, just a
That's what
tad bit
happened in
more.
the comics, though.
Rob, I know what happened in the comics, nigga. I'm talking TV show as far as pacing.
I
If
think
you
that
if you bring in Angstrom Leafy for one episode, that's all I'm saying. He's been in for one episode, and it's like day 1, 2, 3, and 4 happen. He fights Angstrom Levy, now his arm cut off, and now we get Conquest. If you flush out Angstrom Levy for let's say episode 11, okay, bam, go make them hate Invincible. Like all that screaming that nigga was doing, like, yo, show these Invincibles doing this, show the damage, repercussion, show the heroes gathered around. And that way you can go as like, because in the comments I know Cecil's telling people like, there's no holding back, like we have to kill these Invincibles, right? Because they're Viltrumites. The only person that could really fight against them would be Invincible. And then it's like day 3 and 4, like you show Angstrom again, and that way you can show like, okay, like this is a twisted motive that you went to get other Invincibles, albeit you even went to go get an Invincible that killed your own son in front of you. But you're mad at the one Invincible that stopped your program, but the one that killed your son, you went and recruited him to go fight this Invincible. Like they could have fleshed that out a little bit more, like just touched on that a little bit. I mean, they did do a good job with these Invincibles having other like different personalities. I thought they were able to touch on that pretty well with the time they were given the episode. But it's like damn, after this, it's like okay, straight to Conquest. It's like I just wish they just fleshed that out just for 2 episodes.
Yeah.
Okay, I like
When
that.
you,
I
when you,
like how you broke
when
that
you, when you
down.
think about what happened in Chicago, they show like when Omni Man was putting Invincible and the train was going by, you saw all the people dying. You saw the people dying in the apartment complex and Invincible was trying to save them. You saw all of this happening. Like that's stuff they could have been touching on a little bit more, and instead of just showing them flying through stuff and showing the news like, oh, this is what's going on in the world right now. And it's like okay, and even some of the fight scenes they cut short. Like you're showing Invincible, and then other heroes are fighting Invincible. He's like, no, he's the bad one. Then they cut back to him being defeated. It's like, well, how did he convince them that he wasn't the bad one? And they have 16 other versions of you. Then it's like you cut to one Invincible flying with it wasn't Spawn, but it was one of like the Tiger dude, or not Best Tiger. Best Tiger is the assassin dude. But you show that, and then you do a cutscene, and then that Invincible's dead, and then the Tiger's coming up from out the ground. Then you show Tech Jacket fighting, and then you show Tech Jacket beating that Invincible variant, and then flying to Earth. And it's like, if y'all use these episodes, because these are characters that are going to be pertinent in the coming seasons that are going to be helping Invincible in this Viltrumite war with the Coalition. It's like if you just had an episode where you can give them at least 2 minutes of screen time, like to flesh them out just a little bit, I think that would have been better.
Yeah, I agree. I think you did a great job of explaining that, and I don't disagree with you. But I don't think that I was mad at the pacing, just for the simple fact that I just wanted to get through. I wanted to get past the Invincible War. I wanted to get past it. If we could get through it and then get through this conquest fight, and then it could possibly make the file like next season go a little bit faster, or it can maybe improve on the pacing of next season, then it's like I could kind of deal with it. But I do 100% agree with you. Now that we're through that portion of the series, it feels like they sucked every opportunity of it having an impact. It just couldn't deliver a serious impact, and as quickly as you start to kind of digest everything that happened, the brevity of everything that happened, you immediately get conquest, like literally immediate. So I do understand that a critique, and anybody else who would have that critique. I think the only reason why I'm get past this as quickly as possible, so maybe this season could end at a point where it can make what comes next go faster. And my only reason for that is, what, like, after this fight, is there like a little bit of a cushion period between this and the next conflict, or to the next conflict? Because I just don't remember.
I know after this fight with Conquest, he fights Dinosaurus. That's one of his villains as well. But after the fight with, because the thing is that the episode is titled one of the quotes Mark has against his fight with Dinosaurus, and that's supposed to be months after he's fought Conquest already. And then that conflict is one of the conflicts is Cecil keeps Conquest's body but makes a replica of it and shows Mark the replica. So then when Cecil goes down to wherever he's keeping Conquest ends up waking up from being rejuvenated or revived, and then he ends up flying away. But the next conflict comes, I think, when Mark and Oliver go with Omni-Man. They meet up with Omni-Man.
So next season, it probably would be better if we just could fly through a lot of that, right?
The sequence, yeah.
With Dinosaurus, he plays a very crucial part. So yeah, if they fly through, really what they're gonna have to fly through is the stuff with like the other side characters and all of that.
Yeah, I just want them to leave us in a position where the stuff that I don't want to get back to that last season that we had. Remember the first part of last season? Like some of this stuff is dragging, just doesn't feel necessary. Even though it was necessary that way. I just don't want to go through another episode of that in the next season. Yeah, that's just like that's the only reason why I'm kind of holding the reservation with how this last episode went. But if I didn't have that reservation, yeah, I think you did a really good job explaining, and you're absolutely right. Having us just the cutaway scenes like that, it's like you don't even really get to see how they beat them. You don't really get to see the full totality. You don't know what lesson is necessarily learned from it all.
Your mic cutting out.
Oh, okay. If I don't know why it's doing that, I might because I was working. But if you don't get any, like there's really nothing impact between character development and growth from it. Nothing really was there between the fights and challenges that everybody had. You don't get to see a majority of them because, like you said, they just kind of go defeated Invincible to another defeated Invincible. So then on top of that, you go immediately into an. And in the other part to add to that, which kind of goes back to T was saying, it's not even like you get a maturity in our main character at this point. You still get him doing the same immature things that we've seen from him throughout the entire season. So it's just kind of like, it would have been nice if there could have been more impactful moments. The fact that there wasn't any impactful moments like that, I definitely do get that point. I sincerely do.
But one other thing, I just want to say real quick, like when we've been teased with the Rexplode and Ray relationship, and then
That
it's like we see Rexplode die, and then the episode continues. Like if you had one episode to flush out character deaths, show the toll, because they changed a lot,
mm-hmm.
not a lot. They changed some small things from the comics, but if you show a chance to be like, hey Mark, like you need to get back out there and fight. Literally, Rexplode is dead. Like some guardians are dying. Like Immortal just got killed. Show the weight of all these invincibles on Earth. Like when you cut into how people are defeating invincibles to certain character deaths. I know they showed the destruction and everything, which is cool, but it's like, yo, y'all built up Rexplode so much, and to have an episode where he dies and to have it kind of be brushed off in that episode, it's like,
That's why they
damn.
built him up, though.
So what was all that for? All of them shopping.
That's what they built him up for, though. They gave
Rob, but I'm saying the
they gave
impact when you build up a character like that, and then the death is like, okay, he died. Let's cut to another fight scene.
They
Cool, but I'm
gave
saying
us exposure before. That's why they gave us the extra scenes with Rexplode in this whole entire scene. That's the irony of it. It's a tragic death. Like you're not gonna be able to get out of Rexplode because we got everything that there is to him.
I'm saying, Rob, we see that, but I'm saying in the show, you have to add to the gravity of it. Like Immortal dies is fine because we know he ends up coming back quite a few times. But this is Rexplode. It's like, yes, we see him shopping with Ray. We see Ray, stop. They're gonna retire being superheroes or whatever. And I understand what you're saying, but I'm saying to have him in the episode, Rex is dead. Let's move on to this part. Let's move on to that part. It's like, and his death happened so fast. Like, yeah, it was flushed out a little bit with him throwing things and making things explode. And it's like, oh, I can explode my skeleton. And it was like, at some point, like the pacing was so fast. It's like that didn't light a fire where you thought it would, especially, hey, heroes are literally sacrificing themselves in order to stop these variants of you. And you're sitting here in the hospital with your girl who has only a broken leg. Your teammate literally blew up his skeleton. And you're sitting here because this girl has a broken leg. Not a hole in her chest. You got heroes fight. You got literally the baby hero was literally killed by its own teammate because the invincible, he got uppercut and landed on him. And it's like so much shit is going on. We see the aftermath. You see all these heroes, with their stomachs torn out, or you see a lot of them, knocking on death's door. But it's like, yo, like that's one thing they could have changed. Like, hey, like it's time for you to like man up. Like we literally have heroes who are at a street level sacrificing their lives in order to stop versions of you, and you're sitting here in the hospital and you just bitching right now. That's why I was saying it should have been like 2 episodes so you could flush out a little bit more. Like they could have been focused on like the psychological aspect of it. Like Marcus, like, no, I'm not leaving my girl's side, but now I'm here and like my friends are dying. I'm not leaving my girl's side, but I do have a mom and brother out there. I'm not leaving my girl's side, but at the same time, this is not helping my public image at all.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same
Yeah, the
time,
maturity just ain't there.
y'all thinking this nigga is still a teen. He's supposed to be in college right now. Were we of the sound mind in college? No, we were
Robert,
not.
if it was 16 Robert Andersons running around Buffalo, New York, smacking old bitches across the head, would you not be like, nah, let me go out there and be like, nah, that's not me?
No, not if my shorty is in the hospital with a broken leg and internal bleeding because Superman-esque niggas came and whooped her ass.
But
No,
you
I'm
don't-
sorry.
No. Technically, they didn't.
Superman.
They didn't come to whip her behind. They kind of showed up to defend themselves, and she got her behind whooped.
They still whooped her ass.
But they didn't come for her. They went to them.
Still whooped her ass.
I'm just saying, your phrasing was kind of messed up.
Superman. If you the only Superman, and it's more Supermen that come, you the only super, and it's 17 super drilling down every Western New York. And you the only Super Rob, the only good Super Rob.
Let me ask.
Hold on. No. I got one before you get started. But before you get started, I got one. Hold on. I got one.
What happens when Lois Lane is critically injured and Superman figures out about it?
But here's the thing. Listen.
What does Superman
but hold
do?
on, no.
When
but
his
you just said. But hold on,
in the hospital.
But here's the thing.
We just saw that in Batman Superman. He sacrificed himself and ended up killing Doomsday.
But here's the thing, Rob. You, like you said, you're at the hospital with your shorty, internal bleeding, knee snapped, right? You're not gonna go check on your mom and your brother. Your shorty you not married to. Don't worry, I'll wait.
Rob, your mom, come on, bro.
Like, yeah, your family is still out there.
If
you're not married to her, if you were married to her, I can understand. You're not married to the girl.
Crazy.
I couldn't even understand that, honestly. If you the only thing that could stop it, bro, if you're a fireman and your family is in a fire and you're a fireman and your family is good, they in safe hands, they perfectly fine, and you the only fireman around that can actually put the fire out, I'm not getting in the ambulance. Like, and more people's lives is at risk if somebody doesn't put the. If I know my family is going into girlfriend, whatever, is going into is in safe hand, is okay, and I'm the only firefighter around who could potentially put this fire out to save more people's lives, I am staying. Even at 18 years old, I am making the moral decision to stay and save more lives by putting the fire out.
We are also acting as if Mark has had the most greatest of upbringings and the greatest of the past 2 to 3 years of his life.
He did.
Arguably has had the worst.
No, he didn't.
The worst year to 2 years stretch known to man. His father is known to be an alien who killed thousands of individuals and used his body to do it in front of everybody, therefore blaming himself for the damage and for all the lives they caused. So much so that it's still impacting him in this new season when that shit happened 2 seasons ago.
Sure, but now you got somebody else that's using your image to do the exact same things that you've been trying to say. I need to get past.
He's still impacted.
No. In season 1, he said, "Dad, I want to be like you. I want to be a superhero just like you." Cool. Omni-Man did the shit he did. Cool. He still didn't want to be. After Omni-Man did all of that, he'll say, "What did you?" I'll still have you, Dad. That shows his heart. That shows Mark was like, "You just put me through a train. You throw me. Pause. You threw me through a fucking mountain. You beat me till my teeth fell out my mouth. All of a sudden, he's like, Dad, after all you just did, I'll still have you." And now Mark feels guilty about Chicago when he goes and sees dying. He understands Powerplex's point of view. And then it's like, now it's like, hey, Mark, it's 16 versions of you doing what your dad did, but they're doing it in Paris, New York City, Tokyo, London. They're in Sao Paulo. They're all over the world destroying major cities. We need you out there. You're like, nah, my girl got a broken leg right now.
It's not just a broken leg.
She's safe though.
He's not coughing up blood just off of a broken leg. That's internal bleeding.
She coughed up blood because Rob, she coughed up blood because she was thrown down as well.
Into the ground. Yeah.
Yes.
That internal bleeding.
Rob, but
he's a superhero in safe arms that's recovering smoothly.
But think of this, Rob. You literally had Rex Flo get shot in the head, get a new arm, went back out into action. Would he be like, nah, you know what, Cecil?
They didn't even know about all of this stuff until the fighting was over. So they couldn't even relay this information to Mark because they didn't have the information themselves.
Rob,
why?
What do you think?
Because everybody is dealing with fighting the Invincibles.
Rob, there's 16 evil versions of you out there right now. That doesn't mean they're outside waiting for you. 16 evil versions of you means that they're really ready to fulfill their Viltrumite duty. So you already know what they're doing. You already know. So if you sit up there and be like, you know what, it's 16 versions of me out there, I'm gonna just chill with Eve. But at the same time, you're training because you're the only hero that we can even send out against Viltrumites. But right now there's 16 Viltrumites.
He knows that. He knows that.
I'm still checking up on Shawty. I don't know about y'all niggas.
No. Sam,
you can check him on Shawty after you do your daggone job.
Rob, if your girl right now had a broken leg and they said it's 20 evil versions of a man named Robert Anderson in New York, and he's going around doing some devious
Nigga,
shit. You can
the
be like,
first thing I'm doing is going to check on my shorty and make sure she cool, and then I'm going to take care of her. I'm
but
not doing. I'm
But
not
he
taking
wasn't
care of
about to
niggas
leave.
first.
But he wasn't about to leave though. She was already
Rob.
like he took her.
I
She was fine. You know,
understand.
come on, man.
I understand.
Rob, I get you playing devil's advocate, but you can't really sit up here and be like, "Nah, Invincible's right." It's like, bro, like he was more mature in season 1 after his dad did what he did.
Yes.
Both people.
Season
both
2 and season
people
3
are
now,
right.
you're like, yo, this is a
Both
different
people are
Invincible.
right.
At this point, Invincible, he's not like mentally, he should be more developed than what he is right now, because it's like season 1, he was very different. And it's like, even the play on a name, every episode Invincible, and there's not one person you haven't met in the show that couldn't kick your ass. It's like the name is like a joke at this point. It's on the fat niggas.
You gotta start from somewhere, man.
Rob, it's the 3rd season. This shit started in 2021.
You gotta start from. And he killed multiple Invincible clones. Did he not?
The thing though is he keep being a superhero. When everything happened with his father, he remained a superhero. When everything else has happened, he's remained a superhero. It's just kind of like, if you gonna be a superhero and a threat comes into play that you are the most equipped to handle as a superhero, bro, you got a job to do. Like, you think, bro,
I think that
We have people in the real
y'all
world.
are walking over the fact that in the process of him fighting his father, he was trying to save people, and he had to see all of these people die in front of him. I don't care what nigga is on this panel right now. All of y'all niggas, if y'all were a superhero and had to try to save individuals and have to see them die in front of you, thousands of them in front of your face, you niggas are not putting on the cape right after that shit and act like it's just a new fucking day. It's not happening. That's not what happens
Yes,
with
we
the human.
are.
That's not what happens
You're
with
a
the
super.
human
If I'm a
psyche.
if I'm a superhero, bro, and it's my job to try to save as many people. If I was, if not even a superhero, if I was like a police officer or a firefighter, first responder, or a military person, I would. It's my. I took a duty. I took an oath that says that I got to get back out there and try to save as many lives. My life on the line to save people.
You know what
Rob,
happens?
during the event of 9/11, do you think,
You
Rob,
know
do you
what
think
happens
first
when
responders?
something strenuous happens for all of those people? Do you think that they're forced to go right back to work, or are
Yes,
Yes.
in the military,
Rob,
soldiers.
they take some time?
You know how many soldiers that happens
I'm talking
to?
about other people. I'm talking
Rob,
about
think of
people
9/11. Do you
who-
think first responders said, nope, I've seen too many people jump off
Yeah.
the building. I just covered
No.
too many bodies.
Great
I'm about to
point.
go sit in my, I'm about to go sit in the
No,
office real
because
quick.
no,
No. Rob,
no,
think about
because
This is your point.
in this instance, we wouldn't be talking about what happens before 9/11 because not that many people died in quick succession as 9/11. So that would be the event in which we're referencing, and it would be the after effects after that. Were the first responders that went to 9/11, were they forced to work right after 9/11? No, they were not.
You don't
Because
think, if
all
it's
of
your
that-
job to be a first
all
responder,
of
you
that
think they could
shit-
be like,
All of that shit compiles on the human psyche. You cannot deal with all of that. You couldn't
wow,
deal with
okay,
all
so
of the
Mark
chemicals in
didn't
the
deal with
air.
that shit for 2 years. He didn't deal with that shit for 2 years. That was your point. For 2 years, he had to deal with this shit mentally. So for 2 years, you mean to
It
tell
hasn't
me he
even
couldn't
been
be like
2 years. I don't believe so. It's probably
Okay,
been
let's
like
say it's been a year. But you know, if it's been a year, he's not about to sit here and say, I want to be a superhero and be like, nah, I was out there fighting versions of myself, but my girl got a broken leg. I can't go out there right now. Like, come on, like Rob, that's the
It's
whole
just
argument
not
is-
super heroic.
You can't say that. At the same time, he's still getting instances in this very season of the ramifications of what happened a year ago with his father. He's still facing all of this shit.
I agree with
that's
T.
going
It's
on
selfish though.
in Chicago. It is selfish, but at the end of the day, Every human being is selfish to a certain degree. Y'all just getting upset because this nigga was selfish at a specific time when he had his right to be selfish.
He was selfish in the
That's
wrong
not a
moment,
right to
though.
be selfish.
Yeah.
In the wrong moment, though.
All right.
Rob, think about this, bro. If you let's say y'all
All right.
let's say y'all play
Bro, it's
no, like there's so many scenarios. You think Draymond Green sat out because Steph Curry twisted his fucking ankle? He's like, nah, Steph injured. Y'all handle this shit. They're gonna be like, nigga, get out there. The fuck are you talking about? You about to sit by Steph's bedside because he tweaked his fucking ankle.
It is not his shorty. I'm
It doesn't matter. I'm
sorry.
telling you, but
it wouldn't matter the person at that point, even if it was his mom. There, yes. Would you want? Would any of us want to be by our mother? Would any of us want?
If Steph Curry's mom twists her fucking ankle going down the bleachers, you think Steph would sit out in the finals of Game 7, tie 3-3 to Bron, and be like, "Yo, y'all go ahead and play. I'm about to go sit back here with my quick. She got a fucked up leg."
Good. He froze.
Thank God. Fuck out of here.
I know he raged so loud that the whole camera just everything just shut down.
Would it be bad if we ended the show on this note?
No point.
Would it be bad if we just ended the show? Would it be bad if we just ended the show on this note?
Yo, dead ass.
It would be so mad.
He'd be like, nah, turn it back on. There you go.
We was about to end the show, Rob. We thought she was gone.
Nah, nigga. Nah, nigga.
Naya said he know you was screaming loud as fuck.
I wasn't.
Yes, you was. Nigga. Oh.
It's no way. It's no way.
No. He knew he wasn't screaming loud because his girl would have came in there and smacked him in the back of his head. He know what it is.
I don't know what to tell y'all. We seen multiple instances of superheroes of all walks of life get fucking cold feet because something happens to somebody that they care about. Superman with Lois Lane, Batman with Robin, Spider-Man with Mary Jane. We have all of these instances, but yet y'all gonna tell me the one nigga that takes his time to actually care about the shorty that he has being in a life or death situation, and now he's an ass for it.
But one thing that you leaving out in those other scenarios though, in DC world, they have other heroes that are like as capable as Superman in terms of taking down threats. They have other heroes that are as Batman taking down different threats. In this world, against the Viltrumite on Earth, the only one who has the ability to take down somebody that's a Viltrumite successfully and the most efficiently is Mark. Like by a large gap. If you know you have a responsibility, you got to understand it's just.
I understand the responsibility.
No, you don't.
I just
Mark
think
trained all season.
he also has a responsibility for the people that he cares about the most. He almost lost his mom last season to the same nigga. He almost lost his mom last season to the same nigga.
Rob, you're not making no sense. He didn't want to leave to go fight other Invincibles because his girl's leg was broken. His mom and his brother were still out there.
His leg.
Bro, whatever she had, Rob, his mom was still Adam
Eve
has
is
superpowers.
severely injured. Severely.
His mom does not have superpowers, and even one of the versions, every version of Mark was evil. Right? The one said, "I killed my mom here." When they were floating over the house.
The one went to the house and tried to act like Mark while he was gone. He literally walked into the house and was like, "Damn, I'm trying to kill her."
And even the one but the thing is, even the one that said, "I killed my mom, I want to take her back with me," he was gonna kidnap a homeboy mother anyway.
Like other people that you care about is in danger. Okay, so let's still go to that fire. Your girlfriend was in the fire. And she is having difficulty breathing, but she's in an EMT. She's on her way to the hospital. She's in good hands. They got a ventilator on her, and they can safety to her. Your mother and brother are also in that fire, and you are the only firefighter. You telling me you're not gonna stay?
That is not the same.
How is it not?
One, One. It's not the same because when Eve was severely again, it wasn't just carbon monoxide poisoning. It wasn't just third degree burns. It was severely injured. Severely injured. On top of that, hold up. On top of that, when Eve went down, what other superheroes were in the vicinity at that present point in time? What other
So you're saying,
invincible?
all right? So Rob, if his mom and dad and brother had passed away in the Invincible, do you think that he should feel any level of guilt towards that?
Yeah, he should.
So
my whole
when
thing
it-
is this. It's like this. Back on my point. When Cecil said, "Hey, we need you back out there," he said, "No, I'ma stay just in case they try and come and finish the job on Eve." But what you don't. But here's the thing, though. Cecil was able to handle one of the marks that came to that facility with no problem, and they stated these marks are not as strong as ours, so they could have handled it. She would have been fine. She would have been fine. They needed him back out there.
Injured.
Hold up.
It's not a case of we know if she's going to be fine or not. Complications.
They put Rex Blow back together. They put Rex Blow back together and Homegirl Ray.
Not anymore. Not anymore.
But here's the thing, though. They put them back together. Half his brain was gone, and his arm. Severely injured my behind. He was injured worse than her when they fought the lizard people.
And Eve is one of the strongest characters, like stronger characters too. She's gonna be fine.
She hasn't fully tapped into that power. It does not until this conquest fight, until she actually knows that she has the power to do what she can do.
But bruh, at the end of the day, they can put these people back together. Mark could have went back out there.
That y'all are wrong. What I'm saying is that Mark also has a reason for his doing, and it's a very valid reason.
I don't think so.
Rob, the reason for but I don't understand what you're saying. So you're really just patting Invincible on the back for being a good boyfriend.
I understand that in the complexities of being a superhero and everything that Mark has had to deal with, that he's already dealing with a lot of guilt for a whole lot of the shit that happens. On top of that, you just add another event in which his girlfriend now and her likelihood of surviving is now on his conscience as well. It's going to be difficult for a college-aged man to be able to compartmentalize that shit, funnel all that shit, and then go back out and act like nothing is transpiring.
He could have took that, but here's the thing, though.
Watch Gwen Stacy head hit the pavement and go back out and still fight crime after.
But here's the thing, though. He could have took all that anger to take the other marks out. He could have took all that anger.
It's not just anger, it's guilt. Guilt.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I'm gonna feel way more guilty if I let millions of more people die, and I know I could have possibly, even if I could have saved like 5 of them, I'm still gonna feel way more guiltier from it.
If we're being honest, and let's just be completely humanly honest right now, would you care about the lives of a million random individuals, or the lives of your most loved ones, of your most cared about individuals in your life? Which one are you caring about more?
They included.
But hold up, though.
But
that's the thing.
The people closest to them.
But that's the thing. Your argument. But here's the thing, though. Your argument is kind of invalid when you make that statement, because his mother and brother
was still out
there. Was still out there.
His brother was still alive, and I'm guessing that he thought that
he didn't find out his brother was still alive until after, when they said,
he had to ask my mom and my brother.
And the thing is, his mother was with her boyfriend, who don't have powers. He ain't Omni-Man, and his brother's out there still inexperienced in his superheroing. His brother could have died being out there. Who cares if he didn't know that? Your family is still out there in the daggone world.
Because I'm guessing he assumed that they were smart enough to get there, or Cecil got them out of.
No, he didn't know that.
No, he didn't know that.
He didn't know that.
And Cecil would have told him, "Yo, your mother and
Cecil
brother
told him you
inheritance
gotta
is-"
go. Cecil told him you gotta go. Cecil was like, bro, you gotta go. Like, you got to go save these people. Like, we weren't here for this.
I understand both sides. We can leave it at that. We're not gonna agree, but I can understand both
Well,
sides.
we just
I
know
can
you're
understand
wrong at the end of the day. That's all it is.
It's not a matter of fact of whether we're wrong or not.
Yeah, no, you're wrong.
He did all of this to fight all these niggas, and Angstrom believe he's gonna come right back, and the same cycle is gonna continue.
No, you're just wrong.
And that's what it is.
And you're
all
wrong.
right.
Psychologically, I do get the point that you're making.
Niggas just acting like goddamn your loved
I do,
ones
like,
in the
I get
hospital.
that.
Your loved
I
ones
get
in the
that.
hospital, and niggas not gonna drop everything to go see him. I'm
No, like,
crazy.
But he
because
didn't
get
drop
it.
it.
niggas
But the
acting
thing
like
is, he was with her. He
in the
took her,
hospital.
but he took her to Cecil. He was with her the whole time.
Again, are you going to be more fucking anxious if you have to take your loved one to the hospital for an asthma
Here's the
attack,
thing.
or
Here's
if
the
they're
thing.
severely injured and they don't understand if they will be
but here's
alive
the
or
thing.
not?
If I'm Mark and someone hurt my girl, I'm gonna drop her off, make sure she's straight, but then I'm gonna take my behind out there and body the dudes that did that to her, and finish the job off.
Making sure she's straight is such a easy term to just act like whenever somebody goes to the hospital, if they're severely injured, that if there's 100% turnaround rate, that they'll come back just as normal.
Here's the thing.
And
It's
it's
100. But here's the thing, though. In the facility
And it's
she was
not.
in, but in the facility that she was in was 100% turnaround for every person that got brought in there to get to recover. To recover. Hold up though. Hold up though.
It wasn't 100% turnaround because you remember the end of the first episode. What did Omni Man do to all these niggas?
But here's the thing, though.
How many of these niggas came back alive?
That's season one.
No,
That's season
nigga,
one.
don't make
no.
excuses.
No.
Don't make
No.
No, but
Think
my
about
thing
it. But
is-
think about it. Think about it. Hold on now. Think about it. Ray explode. They brought back Homeboy's boyfriend. They brought back Donald about 45 daggone times. Regardless if it's a robot or not, he still got brought back.
And they couldn't bring back niggas that was stronger than all of them in the first episode.
But here's the thing, though. They may not have had the technology in season one, but they have the technology now.
That's an excuse.
That's not an excuse.
Well, I mean, my thing is this, like, not even going off of that. You take her to the hospital, sitting there, you feel guilt tremendously over the situation that's occurred previously. You feel guilt around a situation. Okay, rolling with you with when you're sitting there though, right? And the world as you know it is ending around you, and you have the ability to intervene. You can't do anything else once you're in the hospital. Be with her. He can't perform surgery on her. He can't help her faster. So like, even if she does wake up, you kind of helping to contribute to an idea of there being nothing. Like I don't know what happened.
Yeah, D left, trying to fix it so it looks
Did
a
it
little
end?
bit more presentable.
Oh, okay. Are we still live?
Yeah, we still live.
Oh, okay. Even if she wakes up, right? If everything did go absolutely wrong, like absolutely wrong, and there's no world for her to live in afterwards, and you could have did something to prevent that, like what? How do you think even Adam Eve would have
That's why
taken that?
That's what I'm saying. There's reasons for both. I'm not saying that y'all are wrong. He still had a duty, but at the same time, he also had a duty to the shawty that he said he loved, and that loved him back, and that he
Do you
feels.
think that it's okay? 'Cause I get what you're saying. You do think that it's an immature decision for him to make, but you're
It's
just
a-
saying,
it's
given his
a
age
mature
and his
and selfish
psychology,
decision
yeah.
for him to make that, but
I
I
get your point.
understand why he would make that, because I can see a multitude of other humans making the same decision.
I'm not saying that it's right, but just saying you could see him do it. Yeah,
right,
I get
but
what you're
I
saying.
can see them
No,
doing it.
I get his point. I get his point in that thing because I could see a lot.
Yeah.
We
A
would
lot of people, a lot of
go
us would
off.
probably do that.
Mm.
If
We
the
would go.
people
A lot
that
of
we
people
care
would
about
go
the most-
off. If
Yeah,
they
but-
knew that, if you had the power to change, didn't in this world, no, yeah, you would. Look, I get it. A lot of people would probably do it, and even in our own real world, there has been a lot of scenarios where people have done. But you are like an enemy at that point.
You
Like
are.
once everything is said and done, like
It's-
public
it's gonna
enemy
have
number is
consequences.
boy.
It's
But it
gonna
still
have-
happens. But it still happens.
It
Yeah.
still happens. I'm not saying that the folks that choose to do that won't have consequences. I'm just saying
If I had the ability to save a multitude of people's lives and I was in my emotions and to not save those lives, just sit by my loved one, not help them, just to sit by my loved one. Yeah, I would anticipate a lot of people with me. A lot.
when folks pass by that as if it's such a minor thing, it's kind of like taking the humanity out of Mark, and that's one of the biggest premises of the entire Invincible comics. How he manifests or how he blends his Viltrumite side with his human side. It's the main reason why he has these issues throughout the comics, trying to figure out what's his stance on the moral justification of his actions. I can't kill villains. Now we're about to see at the end, spoiler alert, at the end of this season, now he's gonna switch to I have to kill villains. And then I believe at some point in time he goes back to I shouldn't kill most of these individuals, but when a push comes to shove and I have to do it, then I have to do it. That human side is a key
The
pivotal
last
factor.
version of him, that's where I feel like he got it.
Yeah.
During all of these other points though, boy, did he really not get it. And I do kind of like that the show lets me
It takes
feel that.
time. Like we see it right now in our daily lives where we're seeing young people choosing extremes because it's the easiest thing to gravitate to, when naturally a world is a gray world. It's not a black and white world. You have to go through these instances, go through these things in life to be able to figure out your moral code type of thing.
Yeah,
right?
you don't get it always. You don't get it right away. That's true.
And then his dad is arguably the worst moral code agent that he could have ever had been pushed into his life.
He still had his mom knowing different people like that, and like he
still
know
had his mom.
what they wishes. He know, but like that's the thing. Whether his mom died, he knows what his mom. If Adam Eve died, he knows what Adam do.
He still had his
The
mom.
only one who's like is Oliver, because Oliver should have. You shouldn't have let this happen in the first place. But we even see in due time. There's a lot of character growth for Oliver. It's wild, dude. I will say that Invincible is really good.
You don't
Invincible
get
is
that
really
character
good with
growth
that character development.
without these emotions in full effect. You don't get it with
I
that.
just hate it. I just want him to mature. I get it. I know it happens, but boy, it's like really annoying watching it in the earlier parts of the series.
I can understand and I'm gonna end off with this. I can understand his connection to his mom, Debbie, and I can understand the humanity that she brought to him. But I also understand that he was waiting on this moment to become a Viltrumite since he was told by his father. He admired and admonished and idolized his father because he thought that he was the key code for moral and how you're supposed to be a hero. All to come to find out that was just all a fucking lie. 18 years of him being taught that this was the truth, and now it is completely flipped upside down for him.
Yeah, psychological impacts of that. You're right. You can't.
That would impact you astronomically.
And he young. I get it. I do get your argument. It's just like, boy, is it an immature decision.
You wish he would grow
But he
faster.
young. But he young, and yeah, I wish that he would grow faster. But I mean, how many times can you say that about? Wish they could grow faster.
And
So I
coming
get
from
your argument.
I understand. Coming from our community, I understand because we had to grow up a lot faster than a lot of the niggas that we probably had to go to school with, and
Facts.
and all of that shit. We understand that, but these niggas, especially Mark, a suburban nigga, he probably wouldn't have understood a whole lot of shit that happened
Yeah.
until he actually became a superhero. So
Mm-hmm.
that's all. That's all.
That's a
I'm
good
trying-
point. That's a good point.
That's
I get
all.
your point. I get your point. You did a good job. You did a good job.
Appreciate it. Niggas trying to fight me.
He was like, I'm 20v1 Drake right now.
Niggas trying to fight me to the death of it. But all right, we still like solo leveling. We got one.
Oh yeah.
They're gonna end off with a bang with this conquest fight. I'm curious how they animate the fight and how it goes. I actually just seen something real quick, just a real quick news drop before we get out of here. Emergency Awesome off of YouTube just released a video titled Marvel Punisher movie announcement.
Whoa. That's interesting. I want to see Blade before anything like that will come out. Not that I want to have an issue with it, but I just feel like I want to see Blade. Like since Blade been talked about, I would want to see Blade did that.
I think Blade would come out first because I don't even think they started writing for John Byrne. It feels like that might be something that they released in the X-Men phase.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But very interesting. John Berthold, somebody already in the comic deserves this. I think he does. Outside of Daredevil, that's one of the main things for a standalone to be able to have that much weight and impact. Greater Marvel Universe. But we appreciate y'all again. Please like and subscribe if you're from YouTube. If you're on Twitch, please sub up, follow T Smooth at twitch.tv/smooventertainment without the E or with the E, I guess. We got Croco's Corner and we got Chef D in this thing. He had to dip out a little bit earlier, but we appreciate y'all again as y'all week. We might come back here for an edition depending on how episodes go. Let y'all know. Again, y'all have a good night and a great week. Peace.
I want all the smoke. Yeah, running trash bags of that green, whipping fast, the whip color of cocaine. I'm independent, they independent to stop these dreams on the road to riches. Focus on the ticket, maximize my means. It's like nah, I'm just trying to float. There's a couple holes up in this boat. Dose my mind just so I can quote. They focus on the dollar, feel like I'm a migrant, just touch a new